Yo, how's it going? Welcome everyone. How you guys doing?
What's up?
Hi.
Pretty good.
Awesome. Guys, welcome everyone to the podcast. Well, I mean, talk show, right?
Yeah.
Tonight we have a pretty cool episode. We have I wanna, have my guests and my co-host to introduce themselves. I wanna start with JustLeeBelmont. JustLeeBelmont, go ahead, please.
Sure. Hey guys, I'm JustLeeBelmont, your noble vampire hunter. My whole shtick is that I'm the Castlevania guy. I do a lot of speedruns for the series. I have a deep appreciation of it. I love retro games. I'm a writer. Anything else I can think of to self-promote? No. And that's pretty much it. So yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Don't even specify. Like, it's basically, yeah. So if, whatever you want to say about whatever your knowledge in gaming, what you as a streamer, or when do you start streamer, or who's your favorite streamer, you can right say anything you want. Slifer, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I'm your boy Slifer. My shtick is definitely that I'm into competitive Pokemon. I do a lot of tournaments and ranked gameplay of that sort. Yeah, I've total classic video game nerd, huge into the FGC and fighting games. And yeah, my favorite streamer is probably twitch.tv/MannyBardo.
Yep. Wait, let me yeah. I just got it. I just saw what's happening.
Yep.
So this is happening live, okay, guys? So give me a second, real quick.
Yeah.
I got your back. Okay, I missed one thing.
Also, Overnerd goes by a different alias now.
Yeah. So Overnerd, the floor is yours. Go ahead. I'm
yeah. Despite what the overlay might say, my name is actually Overnerd. I'm a variety streamer here on Twitch. I've been doing this for like a couple years now. I play pretty much everything. A lot of times, like, you'll see me playing whatever's new, but a lot of times I'll fall back on the stuff that I just happen to like, which is a lot. You could nowadays, like, you could find me playing Sekiro, but let's see. There's not a whole lot to tell about me. I'm just a variety streamer, and I like playing games. Favorite streamer, probably, honestly, Maximilian Dude. I think I like that guy a lot.
I love him. He's amazing.
Mm.
Nice. Okay, so I'm gonna tell Lee while I edit a little bit here, what the episode is gonna be about. So Lee, go ahead. Like, we have like 3 topics, right, tonight?
Yeah. So the 3 main things we're gonna be talking about, 2 of them are streaming related. We only have 1 thing related to game design this time, but the 3 things we're talking about why do so many people give up streaming. We're also talking about when live chat drives the stream, which is kind of a big thing once chat starts to become larger. And the last major thing we're talking about, this one's related to game design. We're gonna be talking about toxicity in team games, and how we feel about that specifically. So
yeah,
get ready for some spicy stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be very spicy. Hopefully it's not gonna be like too long. Like it has been before. But hopefully we can get some conversation going. I know, there's like some talking points that are gonna be nice. I mean, I don't want to say they're too spicy, but I think there are good things to talk about in general. You know what I mean? I think I got the titles right now, right? Oh yeah.
Yeah, titles look good.
Like it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So you guys know how it is. It happens live. So thank you for letting us know. I already fixed it, so we should be good to go. So I want to start this subject. Actually, I brought it to the table, and it's basically, this is a subject that is very delicate in general, that have talked about with other like fellow streamers and things like that, and with more with Lee here and Overnet actually, which Overnet is, by the way, a special guest tonight. I appreciate it, man. But so basically, yeah. So the truth about streaming, why do so many people give up? Right, and usually, bring like topics is like more like, like conversation igniters, and I don't usually like to bring a question, like that's not necessarily bad, but it's just more as a, like I want to talk about in general, what does it mean, right? I have my opening statement here, which is like, once the reality of the streaming shows up, that you have to work hard and put effort, to start actually seeing some change. There's like hopes that can go down, and then the dream of like doing it can die. You know what I mean? And I believe that streaming needs to be respected at a certain level, treated in a certain level like as a job, right? Even though it can be a cool job, it's still something that you need to put, a certain amount of effort or production value, or, or like, I don't know, skills or whatever, like can be like charisma, or like being entertaining, or playing the right games, or, making decisions on how you interact with the community, having a right attitude, or things like that. The thing is, like, I'm not saying it shouldn't be taken as a hobby or not, because a lot of people take it, and that's how I'm taking it right now. Like, I'm not expecting like to be like a super big ass streamer, but the thing is, like, also there is some respect that I have that I mean, and I respect, I mean, like, for example, there is certain like production value that I want to bring to the stream, or want to bring to the things that I do, that will make me feel good about what I'm trying to do, because at the end of the day, I'm creating content, right? And I need to like think about like my personality. It's not about like building a persona or being fake or things like that. It's also, knowing how to speak better, like not to swear. Like I have actually meme a lot about with Lee about swearing and things. So the thing is like, but the things also that, depends on what approach you want to take. You want to make a family friendly thing. You want to, ultimately get bigger, so you have sponsors. The thing is like, we are not all at all, none of us, famous, like as far as I know, right?
Yeah.
But
Unless
because
being affiliate
obviously
counts.
this show is for smaller streamers, and we are all growing, but I believe we all have seen those pains and those I don't know, like things that get you bummed out. There are like different factors, I guess. I want to like hear about what everyone has experienced so far. Like I want to start with Lee now.
So I wanted to say, like, I think I've seen like a lot of streamers kind of get frustrated.
Yeah.
And there's a good amount of like reasons why behind that. I think some of the key reasons is that, like, I think people are expecting to, like, I think they're honestly expecting to grow too quickly. And the thing is with Twitch, like, it's this is kind of a corny analogy, but sometimes I like to think of Twitch as a role-playing game, right?
Right.
Because you're not going to level up.
Oh, that's corny.
Just...
I don't want to hit. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. And like, you're not going to just like level up by just, doing like the same thing over and over, right? You have to like challenge yourself and do like harder things to improve both your like EXP bar and your, and I guess if you're looking at like Twitch statistics, your follower number, subscriber number, and all that. And the biggest thing that I think is that, well, two things actually. One, I think discipline is super important. If I had a nickel for how many streamers just flat out aren't doing it, like they're aren't streaming enough or at consistent times, like I'd be a rich man if that were the case, right? Because I don't see enough people like making like a consistent schedule for both themselves, for the self-discipline, and for their viewers. And that's a problem, because if people don't know what time you're available, then like, how are they expected to find you, right? Like just constantly stalk your page or something like that.
Right.
So.
Okay. Slifer, do you want to expand a little bit?
Yeah, especially with the schedule part, because that's something I definitely slacked on a little bit, especially given the nature of my work and my work schedule. But I definitely get my schedule a few weeks in advance, and I'm able to make a stream schedule ahead of time, posted everywhere, so my army of 12-year-olds know where and when they can find me. So I mean, it comes back to the effort thing. If you really do put in that little bit of effort, even if you don't have a consistent work schedule or something like that, or you're busy all the time, like if you want to find the time, you'll find the time. Like, let's be real.
Right.
Yeah.
Overner.
I guess what I wanted to add, because this is something that I've like, I think the subject of like streamers giving up or whatever really early on, it also it kind of like hits home, because this year specifically, and Mouse knows this, a lot of this, I have like toyed with it. I don't think even my viewers really know. I haven't really told them, but like I toyed with the idea of quitting streaming for a while, not because I was like, oh, this I'm not growing, I don't care, I don't like this, not because it was just more, it was more of a thing like, I love to play games, and I could do that offline very easily, so it was a matter of weighing in, because like, as you mentioned, like streaming, yeah, sure, it's a hobby. I do it for fun. I don't do it because it's profitable. I do it because it's because I enjoy doing it and I enjoy the people who stop by my stream. But it is work. You have to put in work, especially like I pride myself on production value. I'm my job, like my actual real life job, is essentially, when you boil it down, production, right? I have to make things look good. So that really translates to my stream. And if I don't feel like I'm doing a good enough job, then I feel like I shouldn't be doing the job at all. And a lot of times, if you don't, like, I think that could happen to a lot of streamers. This is not necessarily the case for everybody, because a lot of people will start with just like the bare bones, like I've got my webcam and I've got my stream and I don't care, that's fine. Or or console streamers who have like a limited tool set to stream off of the console will just go off of that. So it's not always a production issue, but it's more of a like okay, well I started streaming and nobody's really watching me, so I'll just go offline and just do my thing. And I remember that I used to be guilty of that when I first started streaming. I'd stream for half an hour and nobody would be there, so I'm like, I'm just gonna go offline and keep playing. It doesn't matter. And then I'd delete the VOD. But I think I don't want to drag on for like way too long, but going back to what I was saying about like me like toying with this idea of like just stopping streaming, and it's more because of the amount of work that it is. And I think that's the thing that will turn the most amount of people away, is the moment that they come on Twitch, they see their favorite streamers and they're like, dude, this is amazing, I love this, I want this, right? And then they'll try it out for a little while. They'll notice that they're not really getting viewers or getting the views that they want. They'll then go on to Reddit or something and see like, hey, so what can I do to grow? And then well, you got to do this and this and this and this and this and this and this. You got to be on top of it and you got to do it every day and you got to blah blah blah. They're like, oh well, no, I'll just maybe this is not for me. So like, I think that I think that is the amount of work that you need to put into it to grow is definitely something that scares a lot of people away. And not only new streamers, but people who have been doing this for years, such as myself, where it's not a matter of the numbers anymore for me. It's a matter of, I have a life, and is this worth the extra effort, to put into? So I think that it's just a matter of like, you have to realize that it is work. It is work, whether you're getting paid or not.
Right. I think you bring a good point. I wanna mention two things about the. I think like everyone can do as much as they can, right? Let's say, for example, as you mentioned, like if you just have a PS4 and you're like, wow, I just really want to try. I have found actually people like streaming for PS4, like I understand they might not have a camera or things like that, or might be limited to the kind of like chat experience that PS4 provides and things like that. And I have seen them get a little bit of that, some viewers and things like that, which is I think like the things like I guess I remember one time saying like maybe you will need just the will to do it, because like as a factor, right? It's just one of the variables that if you have, for example, just a PS4 but you just really want to do it, you should actually by all means try it and do it. And the thing is like, I'm never gonna discourage someone from doing it, and I have actually encouraged a lot of people to try it, because the thing is like, you never know. The thing is like, what kind of people you're gonna meet, or and the thing is like, I guess also that just translates to having the right expectations coming, which is something that I have seen a lot of big streamers say, which is I think is a big streamer and medium size, and when I say medium size, call it like above between 2,000 and 10,000 followers, right? Even if they are like partnered or not, they say, oh, you just gotta be yourself, and that's if you be yourself, people are gonna come. And the thing is like, I didn't know that until I actually started doing it, that is absolute bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, the thing is like, the problem is that my argument is that it's not about not being yourself, is that being yourself is not enough, right? Or there's like a lot of different factors and a lot of different variables that actually affect in general, the growth that you might be looking, you know what I mean? So Slifer, you wanna expand on that?
Yeah, I think a lot of it also has to do with just being honest with yourself and what you're doing and why and where you want to go with it. Because you don't have to be some over the top, you know, Jake Paul YouTube vlogger personality, because you know, if you're being really fake about it, you know, you're gonna burn out quickly and you're not gonna have a fun time. But you really have to be honest with yourself of how much am I really trying, because you know, just being the laid back, yeah, I'm just chill, I play video games, I got the lo-fi music to study to in the background, you know, that's not enough. What separates you
right there?
Yeah, because like what separates you from what separates you from all the other people who are doing the same thing? There's nothing wrong with it, but you can't get mad when you aren't, you know, 1 trillion subs, you know, a week in, when you're just routine, just like a lot of the other people.
Yeah, the thing is like, well, I don't know, Lee, I'm gonna give you the word right now, real quick after this, but like the thing is like, I remember the first 3 months or the first month, right? Actually, I remember becoming a affiliate like 5 weeks in or something like that, and I was pretty hyped and things like that. But I got to a point is like oh my god, like there's, because the thing is like I didn't have super high production. I have something normal, I will say, and I was like, okay, I need to put a little bit more, you know, because I'm also a designer like Overnight, right? And I want to, you know, bring a lot more value, you know, or production value, things like that, because also that will give me satisfaction of what I'm doing, at least when I'm producing, you know what I mean? Because again, my expectation, it wasn't gonna be to become like to have 10,000 and be partnered, you know what I mean? Because I do have a you know, a real life job and things like that, and the things I don't have all the time in the world. But the thing is like, I got to a point in the new year that I'm like, if I want to do it, I need to keep improving myself. I need to keep bringing new things. I need to keep being funny. I need to keep, like, you know, what things I can bring to the, you know, to the stream to actually I don't know, entertain people, or the things like also what kind of things like making strategy, like, okay, I need to you know, expand to social networks. I need to, you know, have an Instagram where I can promote. I need to be people from outside my stream. I need to be people. I need to network. I need to do, you know, etc., etc., etc. Because if I want to actually, if I want is viewership, right, which is all I asked so far, like to have a lit chat, right? Let's say, like I need to actually attract people. I cannot just wait. You know what I mean? Because I'm not the best gamer ever. I'm not the best looking guy ever either. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna be like, you know, like people. That's you guys know it, right? But the thing is like, that's why I made a joke, like I come with a slogan like just above average gaming, because I know I'm not bad, but I'm just above average. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, if you don't come for the games, you come for the jokes. You know what I mean, or something like that. You know what I mean? The things, you always have to bring something. And I have noticed also one last thing is that when I get raided or something like that, which is part of the networking part too. I need to like, or when someone random shows up and I have, like, for example, 10 people in chat, I'm like, I need to focus on that person that is not following, you know, and I need to keep them engaged. I need to like say, hey, you know, what do you do? Yeah, you streamer, whatever, you know, like, you know what I mean?
You need to hook them.
You need to hook them. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I know they can stay to have a chill time, but I may need to make sure they're gonna come back. You know what I mean? Which is, I think, is very. There's a psychological part of that I think is very interesting. Yeah. Lee, so I remember you were mentioning you had some of your talking points about that mic and the FaceTime thing.
Yeah, but before that, I wanted to kind of delve into the idea of you know, the whole being yourself thing. You know, I agree with you. I think a lot of like the higher tier streamers kind of get that wrong. I think, I don't know if it's implied by this, but like I feel like the best way to like go about it is to kind of be like a little bit more of yourself, so to speak, as in like be a bit more not transparent, but like kind of up it a bit, just for the sake of entertainment value, right? Because like I'm a pretty chill person, but like I tend to get a little analytical for things that I really, really don't like in games, and I try to explain my reasoning why. So normally I keep that to myself, but like in that kind of example, I would recommend people to kind of like not exaggerate your personality, but like kind of like just like tone it up a little bit for the sake of entertainment, right? Yeah,
you have to go into Instagram mode, right? You only post the best of what you've got. You don't
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
you have to make it. You have to be the best of what you've got, and like hide the bullshit, essentially.
Yep.
Oh my god. And yeah, I guess sorry, real quick. At the end of the day, it's like also, I guess like people. The thing is like in my experience, I watch a lot of streamers, and I also go scouting for people to be in the podcast too and things like that. And I go out to actually network too, like on purpose. You know, I get out of my way to actually find small people. But the thing is also, I was gonna say something. Go ahead, Lee. What I think about it.
Okay, so this is probably going to be my most controversial, well, one of my most controversial points of the night. So I know you like, so I want to preface this by saying, anyone who is interested in streaming, I highly recommend that you do that. I tell everyone who has even the slightest interest of streaming to go ahead and do that. I recommend that, and I like that. There's a couple of quote-unquote pet peeves that I have related to this. One, it's the idea of streamers not improving after each of their streams, as in, when I go to a stream, I have like some sort of expectation that the bar is like set once I see it, right? And I kind of expect them to like keep going like the extra mile each time, because it's something I pride myself in, something I want to do. Like, if one stream I'm doing like this thing, the next time I want to see myself doing a collab with someone, or trying to like get more involved in the Discord, like inside, outside the community, or networking and all that.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't have the best gear for streaming, but I try to do my best given like what I have, right? And I'm super attentive to things like audio levels, visuals, overlays. Like, oh my god, if I had a nickel for every streamer that had like an overlay that was quote unquote more important than the game in terms of like the visual layout, that just frustrates me. Or streamers who just don't even take the time to do their audio. Like, they're willing to play the game, they're willing to sit there for like 2 or 3 hours, but they set themselves up for failure by either like not doing the intended things correctly by doing that, or B,
the basics, you would say.
The basics of streaming, right? Like, these are the fundamentals. You need like good audio, you need good video, and if you don't have those, you can still try and make the best of it, right? Like, you can use like filters on your microphone to give it a compressor, so loud noises are like quieter, softer noises are louder. You could add like, what was it, a noise filter, so you don't have to worry about like background noise. And I don't see a lot of streamers do that. But I think it's important to consider what the higher streamers do in terms of like what they have compared to like some of the lower ones. I think 2 of the biggest constants that I recommend every stream to use, it's more specifically, if you have the intent to grow your channel as your primary goal, is to have both a microphone and a face cam. Because, speaking from experience, these are both 2 qualities that I can say with extreme confidence have helped me grow as a streamer, in addition to some of the streamers that are like higher up that have like thousands upon thousands of like viewers / followers and subscriptions.
Right. But I wanna mention is that I think the vast majority of the bigger streamers also, they have a lot of qualities that have helped them, right? Either they bring crowds from other places, they started early when it wasn't super mainstream, they're actually super skilled at games, right? Or they are speedrunners or things like that, or they're actually super entertaining, they're funny, and they're like, right, they can put a show, like, right? And when I think about that, I think about like, Dr. Respect or something like that, right? Like, like he puts a show, right? And he knows, like, the thing is, like, he's not thinking about, and I'm guessing, like, who is following, if he's like 12-year-olds or like whatever. Like, he's thinking, I need to be funny, I need to bring something new, right? Every time someone shows up or something like that, you know what I mean? And the thing is, like, there's like a lot of factors that affect like these big streamers that they actually ignore when trying to give advice to a small streamer, which is like, oh, be yourself, instead of saying, worry about audio quality, worry about like, networking. And the thing is, like, there's also
that. Like, I've never heard like a higher tier streamer like do that for like newer ones. It's just like, this is kind of like the basic stuff. Like, it'd be helpful if they would at least reiterate that in some sort of manner, right?
Yeah, I have only one person actually. I do like his videos a lot, and I didn't know he was a streamer. I thought he was just a YouTuber. But yeah, I mean, I think that's just an important note to take that you can go on.
Exactly.
So yeah, Slifer, you said comparing yourself to others.
Yeah, it's so hard not to do, and it seems obvious, but looking at other channels who might do like the same style of content, like competitive play or speed running, or like maybe the same exact game like Pokemon or Castlevania or something of the sort, it's hard not to compare yourself to one another, and kind of get caught up in the numbers. Like, you know, I've been doing this longer. How come, you know, I only have 1,000 views on my channel and they have 1.1 thousand? You know, my friend just started out and he already has as many followers as me, and kind of get lost in that sort of stuff. And it kind of goes hand in hand with like, why are you doing this? Because streaming is a lot more, in my opinion at least, a lot more about the journey than the destination. Like, you're gonna meet lots of friends, you're gonna have fun times, work on a community, you'll meet other people. There's so many plus sides to streaming and things to enjoy. There's not really a reason to kind of, you know, focus on all these negatives. And that kind of goes for all aspects of life, but like, especially for something like this that's really tedious and, you know, honestly, like, it is a job, it's hard work.
Right. Yeah. It's fun, but it's hard.
Yeah. But you know, it's a ton of time and a ton of work.
I want to like expand on the it is all about knowing what you're trying to get out of streaming. It's because I understand how easy it is. I've never really been a person though to go around on Twitch, and it might actually be because I have a slightly more negative view on things in general. I know that makes me sound like really pessimistic. It's not. I want to say more realistic, not negative. Realistic. I have a more like realistic view on things. So like I go around on
cynical
Twitch,
too,
and
right?
Yeah, I guess. You know, I'll go around on Twitch and I'll see not necessarily friends of mine, but people that I watch or that I look up to.
Right.
I mean, I don't like really naming names and stuff, but like I already mentioned, like Maximilian dude is my favorite streamer, right? I look at that stream and I'm like, and I'm not comparable, right? But I look at that and I'm like, this is the stream that 5 years from now I want to be doing. Right. This is the kind of content that I like, the kind of, because a lot of his friends remind me a lot of my friends. His content, his sense of humor reminds me a lot of my sense of humor. His view on games reminds me a lot. And I'm gonna stop talking about it because it feels really weird. But like, but basically what I'm saying is I've gone to another streamer's channel and felt like this. I feel a connection to this person that it like makes me wonder. I see a lot of similarities in personality and taste. So like, what could I almost acquire from this and assimilate? And then if you watch my stream, it's not that it doesn't feel like I'm trying to copy anybody. I wouldn't think. it's kind of just being myself. As much as they tell you like, yeah, that's what you have to do, and I understand that being myself will not actually get me the growth that I'm looking for. But
I think you set your expectations very realistically. Anyways.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
Circling back around before like I trail off too far is my expectations are very realistic, right? So I kind of like, me personally as a streamer, I think it's very important to simply, the very few people that I will attract to my stream, that and the very few people that stay, I want them to be the kinds of people that like I want them to be good people, essentially, like people that are fun to talk to, because as much as streaming is for the viewer, streaming is also for the streamer. I stream for, like, first and foremost for myself, because I enjoy it and because I enjoy the people that I have gotten. All the people that this week I'm going to PAX East, and everybody who's like, there's 4 people flying out and staying at my place, and they're all people I met on Twitch. And I live with my girlfriend who I met on Twitch, and like it's for me, it's all about the people. And I don't care about how many I meet. It's just more about like the quality of people that I meet. And I think that's like, for me, just kind of like fixating on one thing that you really like, and it's not necessarily like a number or like a dollar sign or anything like that. It's just kind of like really important. Yeah. Anyways.
I think I used to be super obsessed about how many followers I had. I'm not even like 150 or 200 in, but I'm talking about right. Like I let me see. I think I see it 123 or something. The thing is, like, when I remember when I was at around 80, I faced how do you call it, a plateau that I'm like, wow, I haven't gotten a follower in like 3 weeks. You know, there's something that is happening. You know what I mean? And that's when I came in with the podcast and all that, you know what I mean? I need to, machinate, like in my mind, like there's something I need to do. The thing is, like, I also see it, even though for my reasons that I started streaming were like a couple, like 2 things that I didn't know I could just use a single computer to stream, like in high quality, right? Because I obviously want something to look at my games to look dope, but I don't want to, you know, I want like 720p or something like that. And I also started streaming because of the Game Boy stuff. But I don't know, like I think that for me it was more when I see these problems, for me it's also fascinating because these problems that I need to solve, and I consider myself a problem solver in real life. You know, that's what I do in my job, right? Designing. And I think like this is a problem that I have, right? Like let's say growth or engaging with people, making sure someone follows or things like that. And for me that's the way I see it. It's like what I'm gonna do to actually overcome this and then find the next problem. You know what I mean? I remember the first problem that I had, I was like, oh my god, I don't know what tripod I'm gonna get if I want to have my camera where I have it. You know what I mean? Like, and I was doing research about tripods for like 3-4 days straight. Like my wife was going crazy. You know, like what are you talking about? You know what I mean? I was like, but if I spend $40 on this tube instead of $100 on this tripod, like I was like, you know, for me it's like I'm over obsessive about those things. Like, I like finding those kind of like seeing that's an opportunity, right? Like of things to solve, right? Besides like, you know, obviously I guess that's the fun part too. Like, oh, if I have an idea, like I do the thing of like, welcome to my TED Talk or something. I don't know if you have seen it. That I literally took a picture, right, of Tech Talk and I cropped around my face and I just put my face in the back.
I love that.
And the thing is like, the thing is like for me, that's like, I just wanted to do something with Tech Talks. I'm like, what I'm gonna do, and just okay, this is gonna be fun, you know, like at least I'm getting the funny part. But the thing is like, besides from that, is like, again, exactly what we're doing now is for me is just like networking and like finding new streamers and things like that. That's super dope because I'm an active, you know, Twitch user. You know what I mean too. Like when I'm doing everything, I have Twitch open. You know what I mean? But
Can I add a funny story? Just because you were talking about like obsessing over a tripod and stuff, and it's like it's funny how that works when like, because like I said, I've been doing this for a while now. This is not, I didn't, you know, start streaming last month or whatever. But yes, last night I was watching, there was a recommended video. It was actually posted by NVIDIA, and I was going to send it to you, MX. It was posted by NVIDIA, and it's a video introducing their new NVENC encoder for the new version of OBS, right? It's from like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, whatever, whenever the update happened. And I've been using that encoder for streaming, whatever, and this video gave a couple like tips. Like, hey, here's a couple settings in OBS that like you might want to check out or tweak for the best quality. And this was like 4:30 in the morning. I was like watching the video on my phone, and I got out of bed. Now I went to my computer. I'm like, okay, let's see what I've got here. Like my stream quality's fine, dude. Right. Like it's not bad. And I got out of bed at 4:30 in the morning to make sure that each and every one of these settings was identical. And then I like opened up Sekiro and I started like playing half an hour to like do a recording and make sure that it was just a funny story because you were talking about obsessing over a tripod. I'm like, yeah, no, I catch myself doing this stupid shit all the time. That I'm like pushing pixels, like squeezing pixels out of my computer that I didn't know I had. Like
I'm still thinking. I still think, oh my god, I can have that maybe a double screen, like a double PC for streaming, and I can buy this and buy that. You know what I mean? Like I'm actually thinking that the money that I make from Game Boys, I'm just gonna use it for the stream instead of just putting back in Game Boys, which is stupid, right? I'm like,
I remember the conversation.
Money, you know?
I remember the conversation with UMX the day you were considering starting to stream or whatever you were asking me about it or something like that. And I remember the day you were like, "Wait, you use a single PC to stream?"
I was mind blown.
I was like, yeah, dude, I don't have 2 PCs. I just got 1 PC. You're like, wait, you can do that? And I was like, yeah. And then from there was like a fucking landslide.
Yeah,
mind blowing.
Like, I think 5 minutes after I ordered a camera, I was like, I'm gonna get a camera right now. You know?
Yeah, I was like, no, dude, I've only got 1 PC.
Yeah. Lee, I remember you mentioned the being entertaining is key, which I absolutely agree. At the end of the day, the thing is like, I think it's very subjective, right? Like, a lot of people consider, you know, obviously some people follow different people, obviously, because, you know, they just have different likes, right? And they want a different kind of vibe or mood or whatever. Like, but the thing is like that entertainment factor, is key. Like, what do you think about it?
See, here's the thing about being entertaining, right? I think I think one thing every streamer should strive to do, and this isn't even that hard, you need to talk. You need to not just sit there and not say anything, because I've been to so many streams and it's just like someone's playing like Overwatch or something. They're just staring at the game like, and it's like they're not talking. Like, I get it that like the game is hard, there's a lot of concentration, but if you don't talk, I don't understand like what is the point of like watching this, right? Am I here for the gameplay? Of course not, because like this person's not like, they're not like Shroud, they're not like like Ninja. Like,
when you go there,
like why?
How many viewers they're having? Like,
they don't have many. That's like 10 or less than 10. And
not
it's
bad,
just like,
though,
you know,
for not talking. That's not
yeah,
bad though.
I guess. But like half the time I'm just like, you know, I want you to do better. Like, is it really that hard to like talk for a stream?
I think if you
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say I think that if you can't talk to yourself, then that's the number one thing you should fix first as a new streamer. I know that on every list of like top 10 tips for new streamers, whatever, you're always gonna see like talk to yourself or whatever. And I mean, I think it was one of the things that was the most difficult thing for me starting off as a streamer, because I was like, I don't know what the fuck to talk to myself about. But like, I think that now that's actually one of the few things that I've gotten really good at. And like, I mean, my numbers lately have not been, I haven't been super consistent in the last like 6 months, because a lot of life happened. But like, I think that you can, I think that like one thing that you should always do, right? And I think that I've gotten really like much better at this, is like, I can be sitting there, like today I streamed Sekiro for a few hours, and I think for the majority of the stream there was nobody there. Not for the majority, like the first half of stream there was nobody there, but like I always start stream talking to like 100 fucking people. I hide the number. Don't even look at the viewer number. I don't look at the viewer number anymore.
Agreed.
Pretend that you're talking to literally everyone on Twitch. You know, I always like, you start stream, you just fucking, you talk to like everyone. Like, I start stream and I tell people, you know, whatever it was that I was thinking about before stream. I tell them a little bit about like whatever it was I was fucking around with, you know, for stream and all that stuff, and plans for later in the week, what I'm going to be doing with stream. And then later, when everybody comes back, I repeat it. It's fine. It doesn't matter. It just gives me more to talk about. But you always have to pretend that there are 100 people watching you at any given time. And you have to, like, I think that the one thing that should be on your mind, and it is a bit distracting, is like always trying to, like, if you have nothing to talk about, then talk about like what your thought process is in the game. You know, and this is like I'm just trying to like voice this for anybody, you know, who might be a new streamer or considering streaming and might be watching or anything like that. Is like an example. I'm playing Sekiro. Nobody's watching me. My viewer count's at 0, and I'm wandering this area and I'm thinking, you know I found this key like 5 minutes ago. I don't know where that door is, but I'm gonna keep exploring over here because maybe it might be over there. You know. But I don't want to go that way because there's like 3 dudes that I really don't even know how to fight. I really don't want to fuck around with them, you know, at the same time. So maybe I'll try like a stealthier route or whatever. And you just talk about like, just talk shit, talk whatever the fuck what it is that you're doing. And I'll just continue to talk again and again and just talking about whatever it is I'm doing in the game. In the end, is it valuable? No, but it's just filling dead air. Up until somebody comes across and says something.
It's definitely valuable because it tells you about like their personality, right? Like the whole point of streaming is to like externalize like your thoughts, like what's going on. Like the people that tell me like, oh, I have nothing to talk about because like no one's saying anything to me. That is a goddamn lie, because like you're playing a video game, right? And if something's like bugging you in a game, or if there's something you love about it, you gotta say it, right? Like if this Medusa head is driving me crazy, I'm going to go into a 5-paragraph like story or whatever saying how much I hate that stupid serpentine pattern and all that.
I know, I have noticed, like, I look at, you know, one thing that I do is that I look, when I'm live, I don't look at the numbers or anything like that. I mean, I just look how long I've been streaming because I need to go to sleep or something. But, you know, I get an email with the stats, and I see that every single stream, the stream doesn't catch up until like 30 or 45 minutes in.
Oh, I hate that.
You know, like, the thing is, like, that's something that I know, and I think it's related because of the type of followers that I have, or timing. You know, they might be, you know, spending time with the family, and they're gonna see on the computer and things like that. However, I do agree with over that. Like, I just started streaming, hey everyone, how everyone's doing? You know, how's your night going? The thing is, even though that I know that it's just me and my wife watching, you know what I mean? Like, with the stream open, you know what I mean? But the thing is, like, I know for sure that 45 minutes in is gonna catch up, you know,
Mhm.
and then you just need to push a little bit. And the things like that, I want to bring a point with that is that there are some people that the reality is that you need to stream for a little bit. You just can't stream for 30 minutes. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Yeah.
Like
It's
30
true.
minutes is not gonna help you. You know?
Mm.
Because you need to
I-
give people
yeah.
time to like get there and all that.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and enough time to feel like they got their money's worth of staying and sticking around and watching you when they could be doing something else.
Right.
No, like even like sitting down, like like the moment you go live, most people I don't even have notifications when the people I follow, go live and things like that because I have them off. But I need to, I might be doing something. I end up sitting on my computer and then I open the browser and go to Twitch and check. Like you need to leave people like do that because they're living their lives too. You know what I mean? At the end of the day.
Mouse, one quick thing to add the importance of why you have to start every stream assuming you're talking to the entirety of your follower base is because you absolutely never know when somebody is going to watch one of your VODs. To like watch your latest VOD to decide, oh, so and so told me about this streamer, let me check to see. And like they're gonna start your VOD, the VOD's gonna start at at second 0, and they're gonna skip through it, and they're gonna be like, this person's not fucking saying anything for the first 30 minutes.
Right.
And like Mouse, Thwimp and Thwump found me through a clip, and then they checked out my VOD and they followed me because of that. And that's why that's why they followed me, that's why I know them, that's why I live with them.
Right.
Like it's like you never know who the fuck is gonna watch a VOD, and if that VOD doesn't start in a way that will hook a viewer to even stay for another 5 more minutes, then you'll never.
You know what I think? I want to say two things real quick. Hopelessly Retro, thanks a lot for the questions. We do take questions, and we're gonna go over them at the end, by the way. So I'm gonna save it actually. So because I wanna hear what you guys think about that. I just saved it. So I wanna say something interesting that I think that for me is very important. I think the voice part is that I rarely go. You know why I watch more stream arts is because people talk more about what they're doing and they're more interactive in general.
Creative
Because
streams.
What?
You say creative streams like art, like
creative art stream, design,
Oh,
or
those are
or
great.
people creating something or designing or drawing. And I think at the end I think it's very important it says, I guess it's a psychological thing or something, I don't know, like the voice part, right? Having that voice talking, because I think the sound of the game only is not enough for me now. You know what I mean? And I think that's why the mic thing and always talking is important, because you also never know who's gonna pop up, real quick to check you or things like that. But you also the lurkers make the community, And I'm a big lurker too, and I go to hear people talk, and even though I'm not paying attention, even though having super low 10% sound, I have it in the background. It's like having TV. You don't have TV with the sound of wind. You have TV, a TV show, because people are talking, and it's something about it like soothing. I don't know, and that's why I think.
Once you're done with that, related to that.
Yeah, and that's why I actually think that the audio part is super important too, because if they're like fucking static or sound in the background or like noises, I automatically leave. And that's
Same.
the first thing that I read when I was starting streaming. Obviously I was looking. I'm new streaming. What do I do? Like I read a lot of stories on our Twitch too, like of people like saying audio is the most important thing that we can have. 100%. And that's why I worry so much in the beginning to have. I don't think it's perfect yet, but I do think it's like one of the most important things.
It is definitely the most important.
Yeah, I wanted to bounce off of that and say that it's interesting that you bring up how you're listening to it in the background for certain streams. And it's funny because I actually mentioned something just like this on my stream earlier today. One thing I like to tell myself is that a good stream should ideally be a good podcast, in that if the streamer is able to accurately describe everything they're doing without having to look at the screen, I think that's a quality of a successful streamer on the audio aspect of theirs. Because you do have to consider the lurkers, and you have to consider people who are just going to listen, right? It can't just be 100% video or 100% of anything, right? But good audio is definitely something to strive for.
I remember one time, I think Overner, you told me that it was Summit. And maybe you can tell this story better than mine, but you remember that you told me that you were watching Summit, and there is like this kid that showed up that he was actually blind, right? And he said something
I
about
this. I think
yeah, go ahead.
No, I think it was the kid.
Like somebody started
was...
describing everything he was doing when he noticed the kid was blind.
No, it was.
You know?
I don't know if it was a blind kid. I don't remember. I don't remember. The kid was disabled. I don't remember. Blind doesn't ring a bell, so I'm not sure. I'm not going to say 100% for sure that it was that. The kid was disabled in some way, shape, or form. I don't remember what it was, but I do remember that previously, I think he was playing maybe like PUBG or something. And as soon as he found out that I think it was somebody who's like younger sibling or something was sitting, and then somebody subbed and was like, hey, my younger sibling loves listening to your stream, but he doesn't like really like I think he is blind, maybe he was blind, he's blind, so he can't really like enjoy anything. And so all of a sudden, without like really acknowledging the fact, like saying like, oh, you know, without really acknowledging the fact that the kid was disabled, switched his play style entirely to like his stream style, not his play style, his stream style to start to narrate absolutely everything he was doing and why he was doing it and what the decision was and why he made that decision. And all of a sudden it provided this like this insight into the mind of this streamer who is very good at what he was playing, right? He was
I think it was CSGO or something.
I really think it was PUBG.
PUBG? Okay.
I really think, you know, and he was definitely one of those people that you watch PUBG, for entertainment value, but also because he was very good at the game.
Yeah.
Right. So it was this amazing moment where you got to see this insight into somebody's brain that is very good at this game and why they were making these split-second decisions and why they decided this was the best course of action. And also this
without skipping a beat, and because he was just reading off his own thoughts. He wasn't like saying, he wasn't coming up with anything. He was just, this is what's in my head right now. While also like showing that like a concern and a level of like care for your viewer base that was unheard of to me at that point, because I had never seen anybody who'd done that. And I thought that was like, wow, that was an excellent example of why this person in specific deserves to be where they are. Right, because I see a lot of other streamers who sometimes you'll watch a big streamer and wonder, how the fuck did this person like, how did they get famous?
It's happened too many times.
Because I'm the majority of Twitch, I'm not afraid to say it. Like, I'm sure people come to my stream and be like, what the fuck, and then just go to the next stream. The same way that I go to like 90% of big streamers, I'm like, man, what? No, you know, and it's just like I thought that was like an amazing moment where it was like, dude, yeah, like, if you didn't have my respect before, you definitely have it now.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that I always remember that as something that, like the thing is like I think like normally, you know, the way would you react is like you make a comment about it or something, right? And you just keep going what you're doing. You know what I mean? And the thing is, I think that's a good quality of like, you know, like the thing is like he was still providing content that was important and entertaining, even though he was like, he saw the situation and he said, oh wow, like maybe like, you know, as a person, you're like, I never think about these things normally, and that situation hit me right there, and I'm gonna act on it right there without actually saying anything. You know what I mean? Like, which is what I think, I always remember that as something amazing.
I mean, hearts and minds, dude, you fucking win them over.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. Yeah. It's also like one of the coolest parts about streaming, honestly, at least for me, taking streaming a game primarily that I take seriously on a competitive level, and I compete in tournaments, albeit not very well or successfully, but, you know, compete in tournaments, and I find it pretty easy to talk about it since I'm so passionate. You know, my thought process, what I think I'm going to do, what my opponent's going to do, and really how I'm maneuvering around them and their series of plays, what I value, the early game rather than the mid game, and then how I want to close out the late game, kind of my thought process around that. And it makes almost it makes for entertainment in the sense of you get to avoid dead air, and, you know, maybe if chat's like unusually extra poppin', you know, you can talk about something else and I'm just kind of clicking along and just playing as we're busy talking about something else. But I do find it I take a lot of passion, especially as someone trying to improve, really going over and taking my time on, like, this is why I'm doing this. I really think that, you know, this late game is going to be really key, so I need like 26% chip on this Pokemon to try to really push for this kind of late game and that sort of things in a competitive aspect.
Yeah, I wanna move to the other topic, but I wanna to close. I wanna do something. I wanna go over everyone and hear what you think. What are the things that you would say? Top 3, I guess, or top 5 things that you would say that if you want to start streaming, or you want to have, or you want to up your stream up a bit. What would you say is important things that we have said audio, but what other things would you say? Quick that the stream will benefit from, right? In general.
You mean points that we have not mentioned, or the most important of what we've talked about?
Nah, any.
Or,
like,
okay.
Yeah, that is not audio,
okay.
right? Or like,
Okay.
Yeah.
I got one.
Yeah, go on.
Play the right game. Stop playing
Find your niche.
like the big. Yeah. Okay. Yes. I want to reiterate that. I've seen so many streamers get upset that they're like, "Oh, I can't get views," and it's just like, okay, well, what are you playing? And they tell me Overwatch, they tell me Fortnite, they tell me Rainbow Six Siege, they tell me League of Legends, they tell me CS:GO, and I'm just like, you are killing your own stream. Stop playing. Like, do you realize how many people you're competing with? Like, that is your problem right there. Find your niche, own that market. Develop your talents related to that market, and gain the viewership from that. And if you have to, find another niche and then move on to that.
Exactly, expand from
That's
there.
the single greatest thing that I could tell someone. Just don't play the super popular stuff.
Yep.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. One last thing in relation to that. I still think this is kind of relevant. Don't play new games on release date, because you're also competing with literally everyone else on the planet who bought that same game on release date.
Yeah.
I actually have mixed opinions on that, because I played
really?
Smash on release, and I actually, it's not that my stream exploded, but the thing is, like, the people who were with me watching me while I was waiting for the game to be released, didn't have the game. Because I think that's one positive thing you could say about pre-ordering, is that because you go live when it goes live. If you are streaming and people are there, people are like, oh wow, let me check this game out real quick, which I think is very interesting. Usually I don't stream big games but with Smash it was very interesting for me. Or the new Super Mario Bros. U that it came out, like, I actually had a couple nights that were amazing.
Yeah, you said like barely anyone was streaming that too, which was weird.
Yeah,
and that was a new release, quote unquote.
Right. I mean, it was most people, right? But I think because Nintendo franchises actually attract a lot of people, which I think are very positive in general. You know what I mean? Overnight, you were gonna say.
I was gonna say, then this, with all due respect to Lee, this is not simply disagreeing for the sake of disagreeing. I would say my most important, tips or whatever, would be, first off, set your objectives. Know your goals, right? You need to know what it is you're aiming for and set realistic objectives. Second of all, don't let anyone tell you what you should and should not play. Play whatever the fuck you want. Lest you want to burn out. Don't let anyone tell you what you can and cannot play unless you want to burn out within the first month. Because if you're playing what you don't want to play, you're not going to be playing it for much longer. I promise you that. So yes, it is. But this goes back to point number 1. Know your objectives and and keep them reasonable, because like Lee said, if you are playing Overwatch, if you are playing Siege, if you are playing Fortnite, you are not going to see any growth for a very long time unless you are bringing something to the table that 1,000 other people are not bringing.
Yeah,
and that is true, but play whatever you want. And I guess the third, really, I don't really have I think those are the two most important. Like, have realistic goals, and like, if it just so happens that your space is an overly saturated space, then you have to go into it knowing, like, this, it's just the fact of what it's going to be like. I'm not, I play a lot of saturated games, but I also know that I'm not going to come out of here with 500 new viewers today. I know that, like, I'm, this is just it's what I want to play. I switch around on the daily, and it's just the way that I need to do things if I'm going to continue streaming. But again, like, it's just, you got to know it. You have to own it.
Yeah, I definitely agree 100% with the know what you're getting into, because that's like the biggest thing, and I do agree with that.
Yeah,
because I just think that, like, forcing yourself to do something you don't want to do is just like a one-way trip to burnout, dude. Like, you're not going to want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
It's like playing that game that you think is gonna be dope and it's not that dope, and you're like, oh, I already started playing this game,
dude. That
Kid Dracula.
Mega Man Zero. Oh,
I wake up in cold sweats, dude, because I started playing Ashen. Right? Like, I don't know, like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, whenever it came out. And I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. Like the first like hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours.
I remember you playing, yeah.
This is fun. I was like, this is really nice. They're doing some really cool shit here. And I was like praising it on stream, like, you know, as I played, I'm like, this is cool. I like this. This is why I think it's good, and what I think they're doing right, and what they're actually taking from the Dark Souls series and like improving. Point of the story is, 3 days later, I'm like, fuck this game. This is a piece of shit. I do not understand how the developers made this decision and this decision and this decision, and how they actually how they shipped this piece of crap, and I dropped it. And I was like, why did you praise it for a second? Of course, there's people that like Ashen. I exaggerate a lot of things, but like, honestly, there was a couple issues with it that I thought it was like, this is just like, if you're going to do A, then why the fuck would you bring B into this? Because like, it was just like so many things that were just so wrong. Right. And so I just dropped it, and because I can't continue, like, just for my own pride, like, oh, I started it, so I have to finish it.
Yeah, fuck pride, dude.
Yeah.
Slifer, tips. What would you say?
Yeah, I think a big one, kind of ignoring the audio-visual part that we already touched upon, but like really knowing like the basics of streaming, like especially if you're someone who's getting into streaming and doesn't watch streams and really knows like kind of what goes on in the streaming culture. Read your fucking chat, dude. There's nothing I hate more. Like, even if, like, you know, not to fire any shots, like, I go in, like, one of my friends' streams, and I'll, like, there's no viewers, and I come in, and I'm like, hey, what's up? And 15 minutes later, like, there's still silence, their foreheads glued to the monitor, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I've seen that a lot. I've seen that a lot.
Like, fucking talk to me. Like, so I understand with a lot of, like, FPSs and, like, really intense gameplay, sometimes it's kind of hard, but, like, dude, you're sitting here, like, in queue for, like, a ranked match, rocking back and forth in your chair, and I'm, like, blowing your chat up. Like, fucking pay attention. No, like, notice me, senpai. Like, someone pay attention to me.
I have the opposite problem. Every time I stream Siege, I get popped in the face because I was watching chat. It's like, it's every single time.
That's a rough one.
Yeah, I found that trying to, when I was playing Smash, and trying to like talk about what I'm doing, especially because Smash Melee is so fast, and I'll look over at chat and all of a sudden I'm fucking dead at 7%, and it's like,
you walked off the stage.
Yeah, no. It's like, I swear I'm better than this. God, fuck, damn it, now I'm tilted.
Right.
Just getting like pillared by a Falco.
Yeah, fuck. Oh, that already makes me so angry. I hate that character, dude.
Okay, that's cool. Okay. So close it. I have a small list here, to move to the other topic, right? In the sake of moving on. Find your niche. I think it's very important. It happened to me. I think it has, it has given, like, how do you call it? Fruits. How do you call it?
Fruits of your labor.
Yes, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
English, man. Like it pays off. It has. I have noticed the difference.
Yeah.
Now that I find it. But the thing is, like, again, if one day you're like, fucking, I'm gonna stream Warframe, go for it. Because that's what you want to play and you want to stream, go for it. Like, I think that's super valid, and I think that's fine too. Again, as you guys said, just own it. Yeah, right. Having a consistent time, right? Letting people know what time you're gonna show up. If it's even once a week, like there's a streamer that I watch. There's twice a week, only 3 hours a week. 3 hours per stream, and it's always in this exact time, like from beginning to end, always. And I'm like, that consistency, I respect it and I love it, because even like there's another one every Friday, like for 2 hours. I know it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like that kind of consistency, I think it brings a lot, because people at least know. Obviously, there are some numbers of what is like the sweet spot, if you want to grow and things like that. But the thing is, like, I think consistency is key. Get comfortable. The other one is get comfortable and set realistic expectation of what you bring to the table. You know what I mean? Like, I think getting comfortable is part of, like, I don't want to say just being yourself. Is that tune it up a little bit. Accentuate your personality, because I think people relating to you is what is important to. Like, it actually makes a big difference. You over sharing also, it makes a difference. And things like that. You know what I mean? I'm being honest, right? I'm being like, you know what? I hate this. Like, have your opinions. Having an opinion is very important, because if you don't have an opinion, you are just someone that it doesn't matter. Like, I don't, I don't care. You know what I mean? Even that opinion, like, is good or bad or whatever, like, make an opinion. And I think that's good for real life too. Like, you don't want to always say, oh, I agree with this person, but why? You know what I mean? And the last thing, I hate going to streamers that are new and they have 0 followers, 0 viewers, because they're not even monitoring their stream. Like, if they're on PC or something, like if they're on PS4 and things like that, they need to have, for me, at least 1 viewer. You know what I mean? Because I know they're in the dashboard monitoring how audio is sounding, how the stream is looking, what chat is, what's happening in chat and things like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's so easy just to go to dashboard and check it, just to check your stats and things like that. And I think that's very important if you care about it. You know what I mean?
The amount of new streamers who will go on Reddit and post like, I can't believe I just streamed 3 hours and it was like a black screen.
Right.
Like, did you not?
Right, you check it.
Right. Dashboard.
Even if you check it
I
in the
don't feel
beginning.
sorry for you
right.
at all.
Yeah.
If your computer can handle it, I understand it. Just check it in the beginning or something. Check it from your phone. Hey, how is this looking? Let me see. Can I hear the audio? Even if you spend the first 10 minutes, taking care of that. I know there are some people who come and say, I want the perfect stream. If you don't have it, I'm gonna leave. Fuck it. That's fine. But the thing is, check it. Check how it is. Check the audio levels. Check, if it looks HD or whatever. If it looks good to you and things like that. You know what I mean? So always test it. I'm not even gonna bring something new don't worry about, like, I worry about every week about something new, like always thinking about that stuff, but I don't think it's a requirement or it's not necessary. Again, there's a lot of variables in general that affect with timing, with the games that people play, with personality and charisma and things like that. But I think I think we can all agree that audio and setting expectations, being realistic, is the most important thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Plus,
yeah.
I was gonna say, plus, like, bringing something to the table also has to do with your own goals. What are you trying to do right now?
Right. Like, if you want to stream for your family, that's fine too.
Extra wholesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay. We arrive at topic number 2. This topic is brought by Slifer, and I want Slifer to say what the topic is about, and what's your opening statement or your opinion about it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the topic is about stream interaction and how much stream has influence over your live stream, like while you're playing, right? So my opening statement is, it's no secret that community interaction and chat interaction is a fundamental part of live streaming, but at what point are you no longer in control of your own stream? If there's a style of play, objective, a side quest, whatever, that you just aren't into, should you allow the live stream to pressure you into doing it? Sometimes just this once, every once in a while, every time, etc.
Right. Do you have an example that you can come up with that reminds you of this situation that you have seen, like what you have done or not?
Yeah, definitely. Because, like, I'll be playing sometimes. My goal will just be, like, I have a new team to load up. I'm just going to play ranked matches. I'm going to get as many, I'm going to keep trying to raise my elo, climb the leaderboards, and, just improve. And then someone's just like, hey, man, I really want to play. And it's like, not really doing viewer battles right now, which, I do often, but, like, I guess I can take a break for a second right now and then do it. But then, what if they wanted 2 out of 3, or, other people want to play now, and kind of taking into consideration the snowball effect it could have, or just the fact that, maybe I just don't want to play viewer battles right now.
Right. Lee, you want to expand?
You see, it's really neat to, like, kind of think about that, because, like, I really do like the idea of, like, incorporating chat for, like, decision making. And in addition to decision making, also, like, viewer battles, because, like, I don't really stream fighting games too often, but it's one of the things I love to do, and any opportunity that I get to, like, fight against viewers is pretty cool. So I like that. I don't think I've really come into this situation where I wanted to do ranked and someone else wanted to play. If anything, like, I find it more important to do like the latter, just because it's like, this is probably better than ranked anyway, because I get to, like, do repeated matches. Yeah. But going back to, like, the idea of, like, chat kind of overtaking, like, the decision making process, I think it's kind of neat. Ultimately, I feel like the streamer should have, like, their own choice, but I guess kind of looking at Twitch, it's an interactive medium, right? And ideally you want to make your audience happy. And it's kind of cool because there was this one game I played called Lisa the Painful, and there was actually a part where I flat out asked, like, hey guys, are there any party members like you want me to have in my party? And it's like, yo, I'm down to do that, because like not only would it get me out of my comfort zone, but it would also make the viewers really happy to like see as well.
However, I want to say that that wasn't your first playthrough.
That's true. That was my second one.
I think
But I
that's
was doing it on a
important
harder
too.
difficulty.
Right, fair enough. I mean, it was pain difficulty, right?
Yeah, it's hard.
But I think wouldn't you agree that actually that decision, that asking chat, it was just because the nature of, well, I have played this game before, so I can actually handle it if whatever you guys end up choosing. No?
That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, I guess my familiarity with it probably led to me feeling even more comfortable about doing that. And I can't really comment on whether I would do it for a first playthrough for that game, because I didn't have that luxury, and I'm not going to say, oh, I would have done it in my first one, because that would be like disingenuous, right? So,
Overnight, what do you think?
I mean, in my own experience, I personally don't let. I want to say I don't let chat influence what I'm going to do if it's something I don't want to do in that moment. And when I say that, it's not that, like, I think it's a very, very social aspect of streaming. It's how well you can handle it, how well you can turn a viewer down without offending them or making them want to leave. And I want to say, like, in my personal experience, I've never turned someone down or like flat out said no to someone and then had them never come back to stream. It's a matter of how well you can handle it socially. An example would be like I play a lot of competitive games in a squad with my friends, or even just a squad game in general, like Siege or the Division or whatever. And I'll play Siege, and a lot of times there will be somebody who will pop in and be like, "Hey, do you need a fifth? Or can I play with you or whatever?" And I'm gonna say, and I'll tell them like, "Hey, look, I'm sorry, but right now I'm just squatting with my buddies. It's just us for now. I know there's a free spot, but it's right now we're just kind of trying to do this. If you want to squat up with everybody else, just here's a link to the Discord, and we're always putting together games or whatever." And sometimes I don't really follow up, but it's a matter you could still invite them to come join the community and find somebody to play with. It doesn't necessarily have to be me, right? Because there's always people in my Discord playing Siege, or playing whatever, so it's like, it's a matter of like turning them down softly. If it's not what I want to do, like, I will not, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to invite this person I don't know onto my comms and into my game and potentially ruin the experience for me and my friends, right? Because we're streaming this, this works, the people in chat expect this. I'm not going to bring in someone who just feels like they want to be a part of it, and I don't. It's an unknown factor. Another example is just like, people telling you like, hey, go whatever. It could be an adventure game. Go do this, don't do that. Go do this quest, don't do that quest. Ooh. Like, no, I'll do this. I'm gonna do this quest, and when I get to that quest, you can watch it here. And it's a matter of just turning people down without being an asshole. And and if you can pull that off, then you're never gonna have problems. But I dictate what goes on in my stream. And when I do want to invite people to play Smash, to play Siege, to play whatever, I will let them know, like, you guys, where anybody is open to join now, like, just jump in. And we've done that before, and like, it's fine. It's really, I think that first and foremost, stream should be what you want to do rather than what chat wants you to do. And if you can set those rules, then it really only happens a few times, because like now people don't really bug me to do what I don't want to do, because they've all been there. They've all known, like, yeah, he's going to do what he wants to do, and I'm going to watch that. But
do you think, I think at least once it needs to happen. I think it needs to happen to someone when they're early stream, they're new streaming or something. That happens to someone that, like, I have no idea what's going to happen if I invite this person to Discord. Like, for example, people are like, yo,
so scary.
they join Discord and they're like, I am Discord, let's talk, while you're streaming, and you're like, ooh, you know what I mean? Like, the thing is, like, because you invite into Discord and you said, oh yeah, everyone's super chill, like, this is chill stream, like, whatever, and they're like, yeah, let's talk. You're like, what? You know what I mean? Or like, for example, yeah, like, I guess, like, I'll say like setting expectations, like you know,
Mm.
I guess like people getting to know you, like, and if you have, for example, your regulars and someone new shows up and it's like, you know, saying something that they want to join or do whatever. Sometimes I've seen chats say, "Oh no, they, you know, he does this thing."
Yeah.
One thing that I like doing is like in the beginning of the stream, I say, "What's my goal of what I'm doing?" You know, that day, for example, one day I was playing Minish Cap. So 2 different occasions, right? I was playing Minish Cap, I think a couple weeks ago, last week, and I said, okay, in this first one of the stream, I was like, okay, I want to find out new things. I want to explore here. I'm gonna do some errands in the game. I want to like explore. But once I knew all that, the other stream, I was like, okay, I'm taking tips on where to go, what to do, where to get a piece of heart. I'm fine. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fine with that. And I think like setting that up, like knowing exactly what you want for the run or things like that. Like, for example, in Saturday I was doing Julius 100% map, but it changed to all bosses because you need to go to the whole map to get all bosses anyway, because you didn't get anything out of the map or something. And I think that someone made a comment about that, and I was like, oh yeah, let's do that instead, you know. And the thing is, like, I think it just depends on the game, right? Sometimes I'm like, I like to bring the example when I was playing Symphony of the Night, that someone was telling me that to get why I didn't have the Hadouken, I needed to get it, stop doing everything that I was doing because it was investing in the game. Like, I don't care, you know what I mean? I just want to kill some like vampires, dude. Like, I just want to flash some people with my sword. Like, I don't want to go get a Hadouken right now. You know what I mean? But for example, when I did Mega Man X, I was like, I think Lee, you were there. Like, I was like, you know what? I want to get everything. I want to do a 100% run. What do I need to do? You know, where are the things that I'm missing? How do I do the Hadouken and things like that? But after I got it, was like, oh wow, I want to experiment like in bosses. Like, if I can kill them, you can actually use it on Sigma, like, you know, and the dog and things like that, which I didn't know. I never got it. I got it like then, and I think that it's like telling the viewers like, this is what I want to do. You know, I think it's super fair. I would say.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like it's always like just setting your. I think that like letting people know what your goals are and your objectives are for that stream. Letting people know like when you start up, like, hey, today I'm going to be doing this, and I'm going to be, you know, so and so are going to be joining me, and we're just going to do that for a while, and then maybe later we'll do this and that. I think that's really important. And then when people try to like dictate what you're going to do, I think that it's just a matter. It's like I was saying before. It's just a matter of like choosing the right approach. Sometimes, depending on who it is, you can also. Sometimes it's just that you can turn it into a joke. I know, like many times, like there's been plenty of times where someone will come in, a viewer who's seen before, not like a new face or whatever, and will ask me, you know, because there's sometimes will be, you know, a viewer who's younger and will ask you to do something kind of stupid, and like, you know, and you know that they're not going to leave or be offended. They know you don't mean any harm. I don't remember, somebody asked me to do something really dumb, and I was like, well, I can tell you exactly what I'm not gonna do.
Straight up sassafras.
And like the kid, he was like just laughing or whatever. It's like he didn't leave, he didn't feel offended, he wasn't like hurt. It was just everybody in chat got a laugh, he got a laugh, and I was like, okay, well, whatever. It's just a matter of like, you know, you don't have to be dictated by chat, and you can just do whatever you want as long as you handle it properly.
I think I remember the other day I was watching this guy that I started watching. I have mentioned him before. Hey Jesus, Here's Toes or something.
Here's Toes.
Yeah, he was streaming Sekiro, and he was fighting some guy. I don't know the name of the boss. Like, I try not to watch a lot of the game, but I still watch it. He was fighting some guy, and the guy mentioned, "Did you notice you can go through the ceiling to actually do a surprise attack?" And he said, "If you tell me, like, please don't tell me what to do, because if you tell me, I'm not gonna do it that way. I'm gonna try to defeat it now my own way, because you just told me that." You know, I think it's about the spoiler, maybe a spoiler approach, or like blind playthrough thing too, like in those kind of games, I guess. You know. Go ahead, Overnight.
Well, by any chance was this? No, because that sounds like super. I didn't watch that. I don't watch that exact moment. But is that was that Peeve?
What, the enemy? I don't know.
No, the streamer.
No, Jesus Hears Toes.
There's that guy. I just
runner.
Yeah, no, I just because I've seen, like, I watched this one streamer who's done like the Souls series, and like now he's playing Sekiro, and every single time somebody does that, like says do it this way, he's like, I'm gonna do everything in my power to not do that for the
I
rest of the
respect that.
game. And I always thought that was
what's up.
really funny because it becomes a challenge to never do that ever again because his pride is so like.
Right.
I thought it was funny. I thought that was really funny.
My biggest thing like about that is like I feel like the best way to just circumvent that is to just ignore like the comment completely, right? Because like I feel like for smaller streamers it's important like just to, like have them be chatting, and like I feel like even saying no is like kind of whatever, right? I think just ignoring and just going about your way, like doing it how you were going to do anyway, is probably for the better, because
I think ignoring is like super more powerful though, like powerful in a negative way, no?
I mean, it's probably better than just like flat out saying, "Hey, no, I'm not going to do this," right?
No, I actually disagree with that.
Yeah, I disagree with that too.
I think it's
Being
part of the
ignored
social
is like,
aspect.
wow, you don't even love me, dude. I'm not even looking.
No,
You're
I think-
actively trying to ignore my messages. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm hurt. You know?
I think it's part of the social aspect because in a stream that's only got 8, 9, 10, 11 people watching and you've been responding to everything, they know you saw that message and they know you're actively trying to ignore them. And whether or not like it's not I don't like ignoring people because I'm not a big streamer. I don't have 30,000 chatters who I can just pretend I didn't see that. It just flew by. I think it's
I guess I could say that if they're spamming a lot, but it's not actually spam, right? If they're just going crazy, I think that's a different situation. Though. But the thing is, if they're like, well, interacting, like the things that what I like to think about is usually, like I mod for a lot of channels. When I see people going off rails with what's not happening in stream, I find that annoying. You know what I mean? I'm like, why don't you just focus on whatever chat is talking or whatever the streamer is talking about? You know what I mean? Or less, it's a type of Q&A like, hey, what are you doing? Why do you do this? Etc. Right? Like, but when they're like just come out of nowhere and just bring something like that, then I think that's maybe different. Then it's like, okay, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna maybe that's a mistake, and you keep making mistakes writing all this bullshit. You know what I mean? I can see it from that way. Yeah.
I will say the one time I will ignore people is when they at me after their question, like after a few lines, like Pokemon, I don't really have to look at it, right? There's not a whole lot going on. There's some dancing sprites, but like whatever. Like I read chat very quickly. There's a slight stream delay, of course. Not too much I can do about that, but I do read chat very quickly. So if you ask me a question and I don't respond in an instant and you start adding me, I'm not gonna read your question. I won't do it, especially if you're off on some really niche hyper specific request and you're like adding me repeatedly in chat because you just like really want to see it. Dude, I'm not gonna fucking do it.
Right. I think that's very interesting actually. I always thought, like, I like to think that when I become bigger, I'm talking about like from going from 10 average 25 or 20 or something, like bigger. I'm like, if chat is going crazy talking and someone was to actually, and I'm like, let's say ignoring 40% of it because I'm playing, or they're just actually because there's gonna be a point that chat is gonna be interacting by itself. You know what I mean? Just going, it's alive. You know what I mean?
It's gonna be like self-automated.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I like to think that if, for example, that moment shows up and someone wants to ask me something specifically, I'll think that if you add me, it's because you're asking me directly, and I think that will be fair. However, I don't have a lot of people adding me. Just a few, cases when I show up in another chat, for example, hey all, I say hey all, whatever, and everyone says hi or whatever, things like that. But like in my stream, usually, I guess because of the nature of it, right? Like I read every single chat. I make sure, like,
Yep.
But I think like if it gets big, like I think adding me would be like actually a natural thing. It wouldn't bother me, I guess.
I think the context makes a little more sense there.
Yeah.
But when I have like 6 people and I'm reading everything and there hasn't been any new messages yet and I get added like 3 times, like, maybe I will take a little longer to respond to this one.
Yeah, you can just time them out like for 30 minutes. Or you're like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I didn't...
Oops, my finger slipped.
I need to keep fighting here. Sorry, I can't.
Yeah.
You also said, Cypher, that you mentioned that to me before on your notes that you can't make everyone happy.
It's true. You're not gonna please everyone.
Right, but the things
you
like
can totally have. Yeah. Go.
No. I was gonna say I want you and Lee to go, because I think Lee actually is the other way around. right?
Oh yeah.
That you can please everyone, you know, in your context, right? So what do you guys have to say?
Well, I think in the aspect of what makes more sense in my world, in my stream, a lot of the times people will be there for like specifically the competitive gameplay. Due to the nature of Pokemon, if someone challenges me to like a one-on-one, like a personal viewer match, it'll just sit there and queue on the screen until I accept it. So everyone can just get in line, form it, and you know, I'll get to them when I get them, like between the ranked matches. Like it's a pretty great system, honestly. But if someone like really is just looking for the competitive gameplay, the analysis, that sort of thing, and there's someone who really wants to play just some weird niche non-standard meta game mode, and like afterwards, and like after I play them, like they're immediately back in line, like they're really looking for it, they like, hey, can we do this again, like I want to keep playing these weird funny custom game modes, whereas everyone else in chat is here for like, you know, the actual competitive gameplay, whether they understand it or not. You know, most people are going to be there for meta, because I almost strictly play meta. I am the most tier whore, meta-centric person you could ever imagine. You know, I am, you know, every fighting game, you know, top tier character.
Really interesting, huh?
Yeah, definitely. I love my Fox McCloud, my Meta Knight, you know, just everything as far as top tiers go.
Who is meta
My Dr.
ultimate right now?
Mario would like to have a word with you.
Yeah, no, in Melee, you know, I'll be Fox McCloud, best character in the game. Brawl, Meta Knight, best character in the game. Smash 4, when I played pre-patch Sheik, best character in the game. As far as Ultimate goes, I've kind of, you know, we'll see where that character goes. I definitely play Inkling right now, which was early on, you know, the best character.
You are a meta whore, actually.
No, I am
shit.
such a meta. I just get off on winning. I love it so much. And if I win, I will ride my own dick about it. Like if I can beat you, you're not gonna hear the end of it, and I'm gonna love it. And it's my favorite part. I really love winning. It's my favorite part about competitive play. Yeah. Yeah, so if I'm like really into that, you know, I'm playing my ranked games, everyone's in on it, I'm going through the analysis, and someone wants to do some goofy shit, you know, like I'm all for that pretty often, but you know, like not right now. And I pick, you know, do I cater to this one specific person who wants the weird shit, or do I, you know, everyone else who's watching, give them what I've been doing, what we're here for, what we're doing today. So it is kind of hard to please everyone. I guess if they're more reasonable, I could give them their one, you know, the one and done. It'll only take like 2 minutes. It's not going to take effort on my part, really.
Right.
And so I guess the circumstances are kind of important, but a lot of the times I'll find that, you know, some younger kid, especially, like really, like this has become like a one-on-one. Like they want my attention. They want this weird game mode. They want to keep doing it. They want to keep passing me a team to use, and it's like, you know, eventually you have to cut it off and be like, no, all right, I'm gonna play ranked play. I'm gonna smash some people, and I'm gonna talk shit, and we're gonna go amongst our regularly scheduled program.
Right. Lee, what do you think about that? What's your good choice?
You know, I'm like thinking about it. I'm like trying to like dissect a lot of the information.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's impossible to please everyone. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to Twitch, I definitely have the idea in mind that I strive to be a people pleaser specifically on Twitch. It's a little different in like my interpersonal relationships, but like I think for Twitch, I think the reason why I like being a people pleaser is because I feel like when someone's in the chat and they're talking, I feel like they want to be heard. They want to feel important. They want to feel recognized. And well, assuming you're in like, you know, a smaller stream, even like the bigger ones, like even the trolls just want to like be noticed, right? And I feel like by allowing this sort of like interactivity and quote unquote catering to it within reasonable accommodation, right? Because like I'm not gonna like do like every single thing, right? I have to have my own agency. Like there has to be like a good mix between like streamer's agency, chat's influence on decisions. Like I want to make my viewers happy, and if by me allowing them to have a say in the matter in what I do in a game makes them happy for the sake of like a playthrough, I would do that. Like if someone wants to see me use a sick, nasty, like triple barrel shotgun in Resident Evil, hell yeah, I'm gonna do that, because that's cool, because they like that, they like what they see, and like if they like that, that means they'll come back, and I'll have I'll have like a viewer and a friend who likes what I do. So
I don't know about that actually. Well, the thing's like, well, the way you put it, like, okay, let's say for example, using any specific gun or weapon or something like that, or like, for example, let's make an example of like you're playing Castlevania and they want you to use, or no, Bloodborne, they want you to use a trash weapon just for the meme value, right? But you're trying just to finish the game. What do you do?
probably try it out. See if it's bad.
I mean, I'm not right. You can just try it out, but they just want you to use the what's the name of the spike driver or whatever, the melee one.
Oh, the snake driver.
Yeah.
You don't like that one? I think that one's hilarious.
Super meme. I mean, no, the thing is like it's a meme weapon. It's like the wheel, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's like the in Dark Souls the onion armor or something, or the king, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I guess in that circumstance, like I probably like because I think
the onion armor is pretty good. So
I love the onion armor. I think it's funny because like at that point, like if I'm doing it the entire game, then that robs me of my agency, right? But if I at least give them like maybe 30 minutes of like playing around with this, try to like finish one area, be like, hey, you know what? Let me try to kill the boss with this weapon, see how that goes. And if it doesn't work, then I'll go back to what I'm using. It's like it's reasonable accommodation, right? Because it's not fair to give them all the power, but it's not fair to like take away all the power because I feel like empowering chat is also a really cool thing,
For sure.
So.
Overton, what do you think about that? Do you agree?
With that last point about like in that context of like, okay, I'm gonna run this boss with this one weapon that I normally wouldn't do just because somebody suggested it and be funny. I'm all for that. Yeah, I'd try that if I feel like it, right? But I think that in terms of overall trying to please everyone, for me personally, it's not really worth it because I'm not saying don't please anybody. I'm not saying like don't try to please anyone. Because obviously, I mean, like why? I'm not that big of an asshole. But it's more like I don't go out of my way to try to please everyone because if you try to please everyone, if you try to please 100% of your chat, they're just statistically you're going to displease a good portion of your chat because in trying to please one specific person or two specific people, you're going to be pissing off, or okay, maybe not pissing off, but just 2 or 3 more people are going to also be annoyed. Like, I wish that you would just continue the game normally. Yeah. Just do it normally. I don't want to see this weapon. I don't want to like just kill the boss. Like, I don't want to see like a meme run. It's always whether you try. It's there's someone always is going to want to see something different. It's just like the way it works. And so I don't personally like. Unless it's something that it's like someone suggests something that's like, hey, try it this way. And I'm like, that's funny. I'm going to do that. Or that seems like a really cool idea. Or that seems like something I would not have thought about that I really want to try. Then I'll try that.
Right.
But it's more like if going out of like my own way to do something that somebody wants to see or wants me to do that I normally wouldn't want to do, but I'm just going to do it because it's like, I mean, I don't know. It's very obvious. It's very contextual. It depends on the
it's super dependent on the game.
It's obviously I mean I agree with you in some ways. It definitely like probably a lot of ways we're on the same page on that. But I can't really like please. I can't bother to please everyone.
Yeah.
Or I should say I can't bother to put myself in the mindset that I want to make everyone happy. Because I probably even just through the nature of my stream and the way that I talk to chat, I am trying to please as many people as possible. But I will not like put the burden on myself thinking that like, Jesus, did I like? Am I doing exactly what everyone?
It should be a subconscious thing.
Yeah. I mean, because obviously I'm not
something that you're stressing about.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to make it sound like I want to go into chat and be like, I don't care what any of you want. I'm doing only me. Like it's not like that. It's more like I'm trying to be a good streamer. I'm trying to be a good host, but it's not like I'm just gonna hey guys, tell me what to do because I'm your puppet.
Yeah, you got to enjoy your own content
because you don't want to be a pushover. Like
right, yeah.
And I don't think any streamer wants to be a pushover, right?
No.
That said, if someone tells me to use the knife in Castlevania, no, we'll never do that. So,
I mean, the knife is pretty good on Castlevania 4, though. So I'm gonna say one thing. I guess we can all get to the. It's very conditional, right? And I guess it depends. I think it's important to think also that, I mean, at least I would say that the good thing, there's a very positive big thing about being also the smallest streaming part is that making a community and having regulars is what makes the best thing. Is that they know, you know, how you handle things, they know how you play games, they know they ended up coming, you know, to the stream for you too, and you know, it's like it's not gonna be like, you know, like usually they're pretty positive about the decisions that you want to make, you know, how you want to handle things, right?
And that goes both ways, because the same way that they're getting to know the way that you work as a streamer, you're getting to know them, and you know, you're more likely, you know, a regular who's been watching you for 6 months comes in and says like, hey, try this, it'll be funny. I'm more likely to be like, yeah, no, let's try your idea, because that seems cool. Because I'm talking to a friend. I'm not talking
you're
to
just
a
hanging out,
who's popping into my chat, and it's like, yeah, no, I'll try that, because I'm doing it for a friend. I'm not doing it for like somebody who never showed up in my stream before, pops in and is like, oh, cool, this person's streaming Sekiro. Do this way, and it's like, I don't know you, dude.
Or when they show up, you have song requests on, and they show up with a racist song.
Oh my god!
Play Ram Ranch.
Okay. That one guy who did that like still bugs me. Like, come on.
Yeah. There's a funny story. There's a guy who showed up that, like, I mean, the song was called. It has a very racist. It wasn't like a slur, but it was like you can tell what, you know, you can set your expectation of what the song is gonna be about, or what's gonna happen. Like it starts like a normal song, and that's something that I need to deal with when I do SR, you know. But I was trying to talk to the guy, but the thing is, like, I was like, you know what? Let's do this. Once the stream is over the weekend, I'm gonna listen to the song. And if the song, because they're saying it's not racist, because they want me to play, because they want me to, it's a meme, you know, they want to laugh. Oh my god, you play something racist, right? The things like, I was like, I'm gonna listen to it. And when I listen to it, you're gonna come back next stream and let's talk about it. Let's talk about, if it's not racist, let's talk. I'm gonna play it. And it obviously, well, not obviously, it was racist. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that was on YouTube. I actually recorded the song. But, you know, like, it's like people showing up, like, donating to the man things too. Which has happened to me too. That, like, because I donated, you know, you need to do it. You know what I mean? Or no, if you do this, I'll donate money. Which is actually, I think, is very, like, as a small stream, is very, like, tough. You know, like, it's not, because it's not like, you know, the thing is, like, there's like many things that I can, you know, sell myself for, you know, but there are some other things that I wouldn't, that I'm like, maybe not, you know what I mean? Like, but it's just new people who can show up too, you know what I mean? Go ahead.
Yeah, I can kind of get down with paid incentive.
Paid incentive.
Yeah, no, if someone song requests, and the stream will say it, like, when they see that I'm doing song requests and they SR and they just hit me with a raw YouTube link. I mean, like, if you want to pass me a bit, fuck it. I'll load up your stupid meme song. We'll eat like 5 seconds of it. We'll have a laugh. You know, I love memes. I get it. You know, it's funny. Haha. But as far as song requests go, normally I limit it to just what's on Spotify, so we're listening to real music. And at this point, I have a decent sized community, not decent sized, but a community going. And so we'll listen to actual music. There's a playlist, you know. I'll look up stuff on YouTube if I have to play it for them. But if someone I don't know just drops a raw YouTube link, that is hella sus. And I want something in return for, you know, the funny 3-second clip you'll get of me listening to Ram Ranch for the 5th time today. Or like, I'll see it and I'll be like, dude, I've already listened to Ram Ranch like 5 times today. Can you please, like, you can hit me with a meme, just give me a different one. Like, can we do Ram Ranch 7? Or, you know, something else.
The sequel.
Yeah. Because there's plenty of meme songs. Like, come on, just, like, be a little more creative with me, buddy. Like, I'll totally listen to Dicko Mode, but, like, you know, I can only listen to it so many times in a row before, you know, before
there was
people
one
start
stream
to realize I know the lyrics and I have to explain myself.
Right. There was one stream that 5 different people showed up with the same song. Random people that I have never seen. With the same song. I'm like... my dude, like, why? Like, did this song appear today or something was published or something this week? I'm like, why am I reading? Anyways, go ahead.
Song request makes me feel like, dude, song request makes me feel like an alien trying to comprehend, like, humanity. That's the only way I can explain it. Is like, song request makes me feel like I just arrived on Earth and I'm trying to understand this concept that is so foreign to me. I'm like, I get it. I understand. Giving people the control over the music is an excellent way to kind of like to make a lot of people happy because then they can listen to a lot of stuff. But music is so like someone is always gonna hate the song because not
Yeah, I deal with that.
especially me. Like I don't do song requests because I'm like, you're not making me listen to shit I don't want to listen to.
I
Because-
always
I've been lucky
and,
with
and
that,
also
you know.
because like in my head, if I put on a song request, yeah, my regular's gonna put on music that they want to hear. But like 90% of the time, if it's someone I haven't seen in chat and they just request something, it's gonna be something stupid.
Yo.
And it's like, dude, I don't want to listen to that. I'm going to spend all my time, if I turn on song requests, I'm going to spend all my time clicking X's on links so that I don't have to listen to them. It's like, I want to stream, not like micromanage a playlist that I don't want to listen to. Anyways, I'm just like, honestly, I understand, like tons of my friends who stream use song requests and that's cool. I've gone to their streams and requested a song, but like on my own stream, nah, dude. No,
Yeah,
man,
I have a
can't
specific
deal with
days
that
for
shit.
that, and usually I have a specific people doing it that I trust their taste. Even though I don't have it blocked for everyone, you know, or I don't have like for subs or regulars. I have been hit with a lot of bullshit, but I think there's so many times that I'm like, okay, you know, this is fine, I can listen to this. And I don't allow, when I'm not feeling like listening to music either, I just don't have it. Or if the game music is too dope, I'm like I usually do it Friday nights or Saturday nights or something, you know what I mean? I'm like,
I would
let's
definitely
listen
do it
to
like a
whatever.
point system.
Yeah, like I can
Like,
definitely
hey, spend points, you can
apply that.
request a song.
Yeah, you can set up loyalty points and like
Yeah.
cool extensions for
I would
it.
do that. I've never tried it, but I would do that. But not like just come in and put whatever you want. Like, no.
Rip it. Okay, so I think we can I think this was a good talk. I think we can move to the last topic, right?
Yeah.
Spicy.
Sure.
How you guys doing on time? Good?
Yeah,
Wonderful.
Good.
Awesome. So yeah, this last topic is brought to you by Mr. JustLeeBelmont here.
Mr. Belmondo.
Belmondo. Lee, I want you to, go ahead and say what the topic is about and,
Sure.
your opening statement and what's your position on it.
Absolutely. So the big topic I want to talk about is toxicity in team games, and I think this topic is neat because I feel like there's certain games that are really infamous for having like toxic communities, like the big ones being like League of Legends, Counter-Strike, Overwatch, Dota, yeah. Oh my God, just MOBAs in general, right? And to me, I feel that mechanics imposed by both the game and the community itself, within the this type of like multiplayer setting, are one of the major causes of player toxicity. So I'm gonna blame both the community and the gameplay mechanics around this.
I think we lost Overnerd.
We lost Overnerd.
One second.
I'm in Discord. I'm not sure what's going on with the.
I'm gonna let you in. Let me remove this person. Let you back in, and
that's me.
and there you go.
There we go. We're back.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Sorry.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take a stance real quick, okay, with this.
Yeah, go for it.
I absolutely hate competitive, okay? I'm just taking a stance. I do play some competitive, right? But I'm taking a stance that I actually prefer playing co-op or PvE games or single player games. I have a history with Overnerd, for example, and friends. Like, we used to play League, we used to play Overwatch, and I'm not saying because I stopped playing because of them. Like, I was saying, I remember I was saying before in rehearsals that we knew, like, which is a point that I want to bring later, is that we knew each other's play style too. Like, we can hop in, like, for example, Overnight I can hop in any game, and I know I'm gonna go like either, I don't know, Ranger, Rogue, and he's gonna go DPS or things like that. We know like how to combine things and play together and like, okay, let's do this, do that, without actually communicating like a lot. And the things like I have seen success on that. The things like the moment like for example, my friends are not available, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play some quick play in this thing, and I absolutely like. I used to love Destiny. I used to love it, and I used to love it for the PvE aspect. So the thing is, like, the fact of me trying to push, for example, to get the max life, there's a lot of PvP things that you need to do. And the thing is, like, it's not that I'm even bad at PvP in Destiny. It's just that I rage way too fucking much. Like, it brings the worst out of me, and it brings the worst out of people, I think, because everyone is seen to win in these kind of games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My stance so far.
I mean, they're competitive by nature, right? Like the overall
Yeah.
goal for the team is to win. So I guess when people like tunnel on that so hard, well, I guess when people tunnel so hard on the win rather than improvement is when things start getting like dicey, right?
The thing
Yeah.
is, I don't think anybody's gonna come to you and say, "I'm gonna do improvement." I think that's very rare. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess, but like, I guess kind of looking at it from like competitive mindset for both one-on-one fighting games and like team games.
Mhm.
I think specifically for one-on-one games, I would hope that most people involved in that would be seeking to improve rather than explicitly win, because you're not going to win every match. Like, you flat out are not going to win every match unless you're like,
Yeah.
you know, Goku or something like that. That won't happen. Like, it's like the mindset is like the big thing for that, right? Because if you start focusing on like what I did wrong, what I did right, then you're gonna have like a much healthier attitude in that regard. And I feel like and I feel like that should like also be applied to team games as well. But there's also like complications that come along with team games too, right?
Yeah.
So
You also need to be realistic with yourself when you're the one playing about how good you are.
Right.
Because
if you're trash, don't talk shit.
yeah, no, if you're some bronze 5 trash, like, who the fuck are you to be telling me what to do? All right, we're in this ship together. All right, both of us have no idea what we're doing. Okay, no,
Right.
not a fucking clue. We're both clearly bad. We placed bronze, for a reason. It wasn't because you're just loaded up with trolls all the time. You're fucking shit, and you need to, ask yourself why. And stop taking that out on other people.
And they always
Hold
say,
on.
no, I have an old account that is platinum or something.
Oh, yeah,
and
no,
you're like,
my
yeah,
alt's
why are
definitely
you
high
playing
plat.
that account? Or something? Like, get the fuck
hold
out.
on, I'm gonna be that
Hold
guy. Oh, you want to go? Okay, go
No,
next.
no,
'cause that was one of
that's
your
you.
bullet points.
That's you. Hold up, go ahead.
All right, objection. Okay, skill rating, right? I think this is like, I know this is MX point, but I'm actually gonna like jump on this because I think the notion of skill, like a quote unquote number to determine like skill, is probably the most arbitrary thing known to man, right? I've played Dragon Ball FighterZ as like a sort of example relating to skill rating. I started for like nothing, right? And I toggled on like the skill rating thing to have like people that are like have like 100 is like DP or BP, whatever it's called, like several like thousand above me.
Yeah.
These players are complete garbage. Like, so many of them that I fought, like, they do not know what either blocking means, a neutral game means.
Yep.
They don't know what defending like means. Period. Like they mash on wake up like all the time. I'm like, I'm fighting people.
Well, you're
Yeah,
saying
like,
you're saying terms that are some people are not familiar with. So can you explain it for the people?
DP is a dragon punch. That's essentially like a Shoryuken, aka an uppercut that is supposed to beat out anti-airs. It usually has like startup invincibility to protect the person performing it. Yeah, but like
yes, you do
it's
your
got a couple.
fastest get up option,
you
and
can
then
tell
you
that I just
immediately
play for
choose an
fun.
attack with an invincibility.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
play for fun. Like I mean, the things
Yeah.
like, for example, I'm gonna give you an example of Smash real quick before to
Okay,
you continue.
Mhm.
And in Smash, there's a lot of concepts that I know. For example, I know I need to block. I mean, I used to play a million tournaments though, but whatever. I know I need to block, right? I know, like for example, I remember the tournament that I had with Overner. 90% of people were not blocking, and everyone just goes face value. Like, I'm just gonna go aggressive. I'm like, this is why you're trash, because this is why you're losing, because you only
don't
go
have a neutral
offensive.
game.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sam, go ahead.
Yeah. But like
That was also the first week of Smash, though.
I know-
That was like
no.
It was like the first week.
No, I'm
before-
not saying I'm not pointing names and things like that. But the thing is, like, Smash is also as a basic, right? Like we all
it's
have
like an
played
entry level
Smash.
fighter, essentially.
You have played Smash before, and
It depends which one.
it was my first week too, and I was blocked. That's an example that I'm
Yeah.
saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But like, going back to like, the skill points, like it's totally arbitrary. And my best example of that, a former friend of mine, who's a top 500 Overwatch player.
Top
You know what he got
500.
placed in? Top 500. I want to reiterate that like many times. You know what rank he got placed in on his alternate account? He got placed in gold.
That's
And you know
funny.
what? He fell to silver, and he can't get out of it.
Yo.
It's like,
And that's why he's
'Cause,
a
like,
former friend, because it's corrupt,
no.
she.
Well,
right? I don't know.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's like two people, right? But he couldn't get out of it, right? And the number says he's a good player in one instance, but the number says he's a bad player in another instance. So it's like these polar like opposites. Like something doesn't add up, right? Like the system's either like completely fucked, or like maybe he's just average if we're like averaging it out. Like So
Yeah, I totally get that. Back when I used to travel for competitive Melee and take it super seriously, I found myself at 15th on my region's power ranking. I was 15th on the PR. But I was stuck in gold on net play on the online servers for Melee.
Right.
Which is, and in most games, most people will tell you that gold is essentially shiny bronze. Like I knew how to handle myself online a little better than others, but I wasn't plat, or anything higher up from that. There's still more few rankings to go, so definitely not the same level, not just at all. So definitely the online world is a lot different than LAN and in real life, especially when it comes to fighters,
Yeah.
But especially if you've played Smash Ultimate, the Elo system in that game is a fucking joke.
It's
Especially
so dumb.
because it's
What even is
specifically
Elite Smash?
to a character, but not at the same time. So like my Inkling has like 4.2 million GSP, whatever that means. But because of that, every character on my roster is at least like 3.5 million. I've never played, Pac-Man ever. I've never once touched the fucking character, but I'm already starting at 3.5 million. I'll beat someone and I'll earn like 7 GSP. So, and then I'll lose 2 million. And you aren't even ranked with people at a similar point system. So why the point system is there is fucking beyond me.
Right.
Yeah, and like the problem with the point system there too is like the rules are like super erratic too, right? So it's like, okay, I have like 10 billion SP, but like items are on them. Everyone's throwing like the master balls all over the place, and it's like,
and I can't leave.
What is this?
Yeah, as soon as the match is found, I can't fucking leave, and I'm stuck in. Especially before they updated it, I'm stuck in a free for all with items on, and I'm gonna lose 2 million elo probably if I lose this. But if I stick it out and I win, I'll gain 7. So I might as well turn my fucking console off, back on, wait through the disciplinary period of me quitting out mid-game, and play a real match because I'll earn my points back faster.
Wait, you have to wait if you leave?
Yeah,
you get punished.
You'll get punished, and you'll get stuck with a timer of LOL, you reach quit.
It's ridiculous because if the timer's like 10 minutes and you're on like, what is it, like Big Battlefield or like Great Cave Offensive, like you don't want to play that. You're gonna play keep away game like the entire time.
You saw that the way to let you know that I have never quit before. So.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you get that. Overton, what do you think about what do you think of toxicity?
Like Elo and all that.
Toxicity.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so I guess I play a lot of Siege. I absolutely love Rainbow Six Siege. I am now coming back to the game because I spent the better part of a whole year with no use of my right arm after an accident. But I was getting really into Siege before this accident, and I was getting pretty good. Like I would like because when I get really serious about a competitive game, which are few and far between, because I play a lot of competitive games, but when I become serious is a different matter. So Siege is a game that I truly love. I want to be as good as I can, and I try to play smart. I try to learn. I try to like analyze. I watch tons of like pro players and stuff like that to try to like assimilate these things. Right. Point is, I play Siege for a long time before the accident. Then I can't play for a year, and I come back and I am absolute garbage. So here runs in, your Thermite with his black ice and elite skin, like, and gets like shit on 0-5 and like loses the round, and like of course because I have all this stuff from when I was like playing seriously, and like of course that invites people like, what the hell are you doing buying skins for a game you can't play? And this is like like
that's harsh.
And so like, I mean, this is back like now I've been playing consistently like every night for a few months now, and the improvements there, like I'm probably back to where I was before the accident, and I'm like trying very hard to be a better player. So one of the things that really entails is muting everyone. I mute everyone. My teammates. I mute the team. So Siege gives you the option to mute text and mute comms. So by default, whenever I join into a new match, I mute the entire enemy team. I mean, muting comms doesn't matter. I mute the text for the entire enemy team, because what can they provide of value to me as a player during my match? Absolutely nothing. They're not on my team. They can't tell me anything. So I mute the entire enemy team. I leave my team unmuted. The moment somebody says something in chat or on voice, mute chat and voice, real quick. Like Siege makes it so easy. And then like
I don't even know why they include like in many of these games like the other team telling shit to you. I don't care, right?
Yeah.
It's so arbitrary, honestly.
But like the thing is I consider myself fairly immune to toxicity. I don't remember the last time that I went into a game and like, because I used to play a lot of League of Legends, I used to play a lot of Dota, I play a lot of Siege, I used to play a lot of Call of Duty. I don't remember the last time somebody insulted me online and I was like, and I felt even like a twinge of rage.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. I grew up on the internet. Like if I need to, like, I don't ever talk. You can say whatever the fuck you want because either I'm going to mute you or I'm just going to play harder and shit on you. I don't care. And like that's in Siege. And Siege, that's been like my only way that I cope with things. And like now I'm actually getting to the point where like, okay, I'm getting a little bit better at the game. I can actually like, if I try really hard and I play smart, I can usually outplay somebody. And like, it makes people so angry. And that's how I like, that's my toxicity, right? Is I'll just like, you know, I'll fucking, I'll down you at the very, you know, it's 1v1, I'll down you and I'll throw an electric claw at your ball, like an electric claw at your balls and like watch you die from that.
Oh, that's
and,
just
like,
evil. Why would you do that?
And it's just like, or I'll fucking like put down a breach charge and blow you up with that. Like that's as toxic as I will get, right? It'll just be like BMing through in-game actions or whatever. But I will never like open up chat and say something that like toxicity exists and it is a huge problem. But like, I really think the best thing you can do is like try to desensitize yourself from it, because there will always be the scum of the earth on the internet, and it will never disappear.
And they're gonna be trying to kill you, and that's their it's like that's the original trope. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to actually, you know, get you mad, because if you're mad, you're gonna play worse too. You know what I mean?
That's the thing, and like that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, have I gotten mad in Siege at something that somebody has said? Yeah. Sure. I mean, like, especially when it goes to like racism or stuff like that, I'm just like, dude, like, you really have to steep so like you lack all creativity, all intellect. You have to stoop to racism.
Yeah.
And 99% of the time, you're gonna get my race wrong anyways.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you don't know who I am. You have no idea who I am. There are 2 girls on my regular squad who constantly like get called the wrong thing anyways, because people assume they're guys anyways. It's like, do you really think that you'd be like talking to them like that if you knew that, like, if you knew that this would be the only chance this week you get to talk to a girl, would you talk to her like that?
Got him.
It's honestly, no, it's just fuck, I've like derailed so hard. But like, basically all I'm trying to say is like toxicity is going to exist, right? I think that it's our job to try to desensitize ourselves, and like, if you care about the game the way that I care about getting better at Siege, the only thing you can do is learn to live with it, or use the in-game tools to block it out. You don't really you don't need it. And also like I also like, I make a point when I'm playing Siege, I play most of the time I'm in a squad of 4 if not 5. So like, usually I don't have to deal with toxicity with my team because it's all my friends. But like, I mean, I guess to boil it down and shut up for a second, it's just a matter of like, learn to live with it because it's here to stay, and just don't be toxic. Please don't fucking be toxic. Like, you know, like, don't be toxic back. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't try to like one up them. Don't try to like insult them back, because like it doesn't help anybody. It just makes you look stupid. Go ahead.
I struggle with that sometimes.
Do you think that
I struggle with that sometimes, just due to the nature of Pokemon and how much RNG is in it. Like, if I outplay someone all game and they went off like a 10% chance and they say anything, like, I'm gonna breathe real heavy, I'm gonna hit the keyboard, suck my fucking dick, you lucky pussy. No, I'm gonna go crazy.
Let me like reiterate. I'm not saying like you, like Slifer. If you ever say anything back to these toxic motherfuckers, then you're an ass. You're an idiot. Like, it's not. It's like, I'm not saying like. Obviously, there's been times where I've read a comment in chat on whatever game, and I'm just like,
yeah.
but it's like, it takes everything that I am to not stoop to that level, and that's just like the way. Because I'm like, I cannot be fucked, dude. I do not want to start anything. I do not want to spend 30 seconds of my time, because like, it bothers me, dude. I'm not saying like, oh, you're weak for responding, dude. Like, no, it's just like I get it, dude. It pisses me off too. I hate toxicity, man. It's just like it's just so prevalent that like at this point the only thing I can do is just like walk away, man. Because like I'm not about to deal with this.
But it feels so good to respond with your gameplay. Like
Oh,
when someone's just talking shit and you really just pipe up and you just lay down the law. Like your average 12-year-old Call of Duty kid just like microphone down his throat, you know, inhaling it, saying the N-word as fast as he can. And, you know, I clutch the 1v3, I shoot his body in the kill cam, and then we all go home.
Ooh, got him.
And there's nothing he can say because he tried his hardest, got outplayed. I won. I don't have to say anything. I won. Like, what am I to be mad about, dude? Like, I won. Like, that's as good as it gets.
Do you think that you know, not be able, I guess, you know, the nature of it, like, right, not being able to see the opponent makes it like, you know, there's a next level of impersonality.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Oh,
it makes it so impersonal.
That was where it came. That's where toxicity was born.
Absolutely.
It's the anonymity. It's like a lot of these people wouldn't say that shit to someone in front of, like, in their face.
Exactly.
Most of these people wouldn't say that. Like, it's
probably get shot on sight if
they'll get trashed. Yeah.
Yeah. Pull up. I'll fold you like a lawn chair.
like, man, dude, I don't know, man. Of course, like, that's why when you go to tournaments, I mean, there are definitely, you go to a tournament and there are going to be people who are toxic in real life, but the number of people who are toxic in real life is significantly less. And I mean toxic in your face, like as you're playing them, it's going to be so much less than it is, like, because every other kid online is toxic.
You get things like they're... Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Finish.
No, I was gonna say, but like in person, you go to a tournament and it's like, wow, that was weird. That guy's a dick.
Right,
but like it's the outlier, not most of the time.
Do you think if there's any situation in a tournament or in a competitive environment in real life where you know, telling things at each other can actually be good for the more not morale, for the spirit of being competitive? You know.
You mean like I mean you mean like toxicity or like trash talk? Because trash talk is different.
But I think trash, like, I guess I say that implying that trash talk can transform into toxicity.
I think if you can, there is a way to do friendly trash talk. There's a sense of friendly rivalry between, like, you know, tournament players or whatever. Especially, like, I mean, I feel like I am by no means an experience. I love fighting games. I am terrible at all of them. Right. But like, I love them all. I have them all. I play, like, I love them. It's a weird thing. I just can't get good at them. I'm kind of like I have a shooter mindset. But like trash talk is okay, right? Because like you can be friendly. It's a matter, again, going back to like the chat topic. Like there's a way, if you can handle the situation correctly, you can trash talk and you can be like funny or whatever.
Right.
But it's a matter of like, you're not the other person knows you're not actually like, I'm not here to hurt your feelings, dude. I'm just talking shit because we're gaming.
Right. Like, I remember when one time I was playing Smash with Lee, which basically that after that time I don't want to play Smash anymore because he trashed me. Like we were trash talking, but obviously we were you know, laughing.
Was I trash talking you? I didn't even know.
Yeah, because you're shit. No.
No. I'm just saying, I'm a pretty good sport,
dude. Like, no. Lee. The thing is, like, I was, you know, I'm saying we were. I was more obviously because I was getting my ass kicked with every character, you know, and every time the small moments that I had that I won, then I obviously go more trash. You know what I mean? But the thing is, like, I'm not like that wasn't complete at all. Complete anything toxic. I agree.
Yeah, it was super jovial. I didn't even notice, like, honestly, until. So,
right.
Yeah.
And I think that can be valid, right? In certain environments, I'll say, you know. Lee,
also, like,
I
like
wanna
friendly, like, in game. Go ahead.
No, what'd you say?
Oh no, like in game, like just fucking around with your friends is like
right.
It's not. I mean, in Siege, I'll pull out my pistol and ping you in the right ass cheek, but like
right.
like, like it's just a joke.
We're just getting sweaty, basically, you know, with friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're trying to like win and you know whatever, you're having fun. Lee, I wanted you to expand a little bit. You have one talking point about roles, meta, and bad game design that I want to.
Sure, we shouldn't mention commitment because I don't think we covered that, did we?
Oh no, we haven't. But go ahead with any. Go
Okay, so I was gonna say I think one of the I guess this one's kind of like a minor point because it's like I may probably kind of like a one and done thing, but I think one of the bigger reasons for toxicity is like the idea of commitment, of like committing to a game, and I feel like it only gets worse like the longer the game is, right? Because League of Legends or like even like a ranked match of Siege, I would say they can last upward of like 30 minutes now.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I feel like it's kind of like reasonable for like toxicity to stem from like someone being mad that they're in like a losing game, right? And it's just like, you know, I'm still going for this. Like, why do I have to wait like 14 years for this thing to like end, right? Like, why can't it be over now? So like, that's probably why people start throwing to like get it done over with sooner and all that.
Yeah, no, definitely. There's a like, it's a huge factor. The amount of time spent on a match versus like, you know, if you have to like playing League, if you have to fight for 45 minutes for a win, and you know you're losing after 6 minutes, right? And you're just waiting down those last like 14 minutes to be able to surrender. You know, I mean, I haven't played League in years, so I don't even know if like the timing rules are the same. But like back in the day, like you'd know, oh my god, after 5 minutes I'm getting stomped, and I can't surrender until minute 20. Like,
right. And it's usually those kind of games like League is very snowbally. Like you have to actually have
it is,
very
because you have RPG mechanics.
Right, a good team very well put together to actually come back. You know, and a very organized and not be tilted, and they're gonna be flaming. And they're gonna be like, you know, you're trash every time they kill you and things like that. You need to get organized.
Which is not gonna happen with randoms.
Right, it's not gonna happen with randoms
period.
at all. Right, and I guess not even. I wouldn't even say like it doesn't happen. In my experience, it didn't never happen. Maybe it's Overwatch. I was gonna say like maybe you can come back a lot if you get organized. But League of Legends gets snowballing. Like it's like they are. If someone is fed, they're gonna be killing blindly. They're gonna go like kill Baron by themselves and things like that. That's it.
Yeah,
you know,
and attack move from one side of the map to the other while they go to the bathroom, and it's like
auto attack. Lee, so Rosemary and bad game design. I know you. You're gonna mention something specific about this. So I know
this is my biggest point of the night, and this is definitely one that I really want to delve into more than anything. So, I think Overwatch and League, they kind of share like a very big thing in common. Both of them have they have a multitude of characters, right? But these characters specifically have roles, quote unquote, right? And for a team-based game to have like roles and all that, I think there's kind of an issue with that. And the reason why I say that is due to I'm assuming you guys are familiar with this thing called meta.
Yeah.
I think roles in tandem with community-imposed expectations upon meta are a problem, because in a perfect world, we should be able to play whoever we want, correct? In whatever lane, whatever position, like whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I think that it's bad game design to kind of design so many heroes around with these sort of like limitations to the point that the game suffers in terms of its overall design. And I say this because...
define limitations?
Limitations is on what the heroes are able to do, right?
But because you're defining uniqueness too, so we can. I want to come back to that later. Go ahead.
Okay. So I guess let's say in the case of Overwatch, right? You were highly incentivized to have healers in that game for for a big reason, right? There's simply not enough health packs on the map within like a reasonable distance to walk to like fully heal your entire team, right? You're also heavily incentivized to have tanks as well, because the synergy between healers and tanks, you build up ult combos with them, because healers get more ult charge based off how much HP they heal. So if you have a tank and you have like 500 HP, you know, you're obviously going to get more ult charge, and more ults means more winning team battles, right? All you have to do in Overwatch, you have 6 people, press Q, you win the team battle. That's it. And my issue with like roles and meta comes into the idea of Overwatch kind of integrating, or over pro Overwatch League having this thing called GOATS meta. And to my knowledge, this is an acronym for Go All Tanks, Go All Supports, right?
Yeah.
And the reasoning behind that is like, it's stupid, because half the team is like supports, half the team is tanks. There's no spot in this game for like, DPS characters, and the game has like 29 heroes. I believe I think 5 or 6 are tanks, 5 or 6 are support. So like, where does that leave like the rest of it in that situation?
DPS.
Yeah, like which is like objectively has the most characters in that, right? And that's obviously what the most amount of people want to play because there's like so many different characters in that. And like, you know, people are getting mad when like, you know, they're not following like a strict team comp or like a meta or something, but it's like, why are people being reprimanded for playing what they want to play in a game they spent $40 for? Like, this is ridiculous to me. Like, why are people saying like racist stuff about that? Why are they sending death threats about who you play? Why are they threatening to throw depending on who you play? Like,
that's why I quit League. Like a week into the game.
And it's just like, why are certain characters given the stigma that, oh, you're playing Widowmaker? Oh, you're playing Torbjorn or Symmetra? That's a throw pick. This guy's throwing. And it's like, I'm going to throw too. Like, this is absurd.
Right, like you are throwing, so I'm going to throw. Oh my god, that's...
Yeah, and it's just like, I'm just playing this character I like. You know, I've seen like so many different elos. I played in Gold, Plat, Diamond, and Masters, and even like a little bit of like, you know, low GM. And it's just like, this is unacceptable for like people to be getting this toxic over like simply just like the role that you're playing. And like it even goes down into like League of Legends too with you know, lanes being defined by like certain things. Like bottom lane is support and AD carry, mid lane is like either some sort of assassin or mage, right? Top lane is like the tank, and like junglers just, you know, the fucking random, because jungle can be literally anything in that game at this
right now. But let me ask you something. Why would you accredit or
probably
discredit,
bad game design, right?
accredit bad design, but to character? The thing is, like, what is the bad game design part of like having different character designs, or like would you just want to have like Team Fortress, just one character that is specialized in one thing, and you just have a limit of like what, 6 people, 12 people who do something, and that's it?
I think the bad game design stems from having characters that are inflexible in what they can do, and having a map tailored around that sort of inflexibility. And this goes all the way down to the health pack locations in Overwatch, how the maps are designed. So many maps are unfairly designed in that game because Hanamura, for example, it has like the gate, which is like one choke point, and it has like a tiny little area to the top left that only so many heroes can reach. And it's like, how is this fair for like so much of the cast, right? Like it's baffling. And even in like the Eichenwald map, which is Germany, like
I love Hanamura, by the way.
Do you? I hate that map. And even Eichenwald is
as
like
an attacker only.
Right. And in Eichenwald, you have like, you know, one central choke point. You have like a tiny room that was quote unquote what they fixed for the map, and it's like this isn't helping like these different roles and all that. And it's just it's incentivizing so much of just like using like only certain heroes compared to others, and it's just, I don't know. There's so much that
do you
frustrates
agree
me
that
about
using different heroes depending on map design is a good thing?
Well,
or you're saying it's a bad thing having to choose specific heroes based on map design? That's what you're saying.
I think it's bad game design when it gets to the point where it feels like you're forced to pick a different hero just to get through a choke point, because it's quite literally impossible to get through 6 people shooting with a shield, a barrier, just in one sort of like small instance, right? Like,
let me ask you something. Yeah.
But like, if I'm not picking like Pharah on Eichenwald, and I don't have like a Mercy by my side, like going into the back lines, like 4 people are going to be standing at the choke for like 4 minutes, like literally doing nothing for like 90% of the game.
You know,
this
I think
happened to me way too much.
You are actually describing situations that are actually just displaying bad judgment on strategy rather than game design, I would say. For example, there are like some levels that is like I automatically know I want to go Lucio because of the, you know, it has like a death, like a ledge, you know, you can push people out. I'm like, okay, this map is obviously designed for people who can push people out too. Or for example, there's a map, I don't remember what it is, Ilios, I don't know, that have the circle that, you know, that well, that you know you need to, someone needs to use Roadhog.
I think the King of the Hill maps are the best designed.
The what?
I think the King of the Hill maps are the best designed of the maps because of their symmetric nature.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, again, I think the situations you're describing more is just lack of judgment on how to deal with the choke point or the situation or how to actually counter the opposing team, which is actually not related to the bad game design. The reason why I think there is a lot of places to choose from is because you can. I'm talking about also regardless of what the meta can be to actually influence the win, right? Like 2 healers to support 2 DPS or 3 tanks, 3 healers, whatever. The thing is like part of what the game offers, and the why I think the game is also in the position that it is that there is so much choice that you can have an option to play someone to counter the opposing team in any specific map, you know, which is compared to strategy, right? And communication too.
I think my problem is that when the central mechanic is when the best strategy is to change who you're playing rather than how you're playing, I think that's a problem.
No, I actually disagree because you are saying you want to use always the same person everywhere all the time. With that disdain, right?
Right, because I feel like the map should be fairly designed around each character.
That I think that's the first problem that I see is that game then is not designed for you, right? The thing is, like, I don't think you're making a point
and I know
that
it's
is
not, because the game's
unfair.
central mechanic is around hero switching, and I think that's a horrible mechanic.
Right, but the thing is, like, I think that's a personal opinion because I don't think it's actually bad, right? I wanna like, I know we're going back and forth. I wanna Slifer. What do you think?
I want to hear everyone else's thoughts because I can't stand this game with every fiber of my being.
I'm coming from a very heavily FGC standpoint. So stages are a huge part of the metagame and what our legal stage list is, especially coming from something Smash centric, right, where every character has like a toolkit that is tailored to certain things, and we try to keep, you know, neutral stages in the map where every character has, you know, a quote unquote even chance. They're suited for, you know, not really giving or taking advantages or disadvantages. And then there's more bizarre counterpick stages, like you know, you might want to not use Ganondorf on Final Destination because you're gonna get juggled and you'll never come down. Whereas on just about every other stage, you know, he's fine. There's platforms for him to work around. And I think that's healthy for a metagame. I think that's fine. Something that also kind of plays into, I think it's okay that not every character is viable. That might be my tier whore perception kind of being really biased, but I think it's okay that not every character is good.
You need to have a ceiling. You need to have a curve of like who's better in all these games, always, all the time.
Because then everyone's either going to be like broken, and you end up with like some Marvel versus Capcom Infinite. Like everyone's capable of some ridiculous combos. Obviously, there's still variance and viability amongst that. Or you'll end up with like Smash 4 before DLC, where everyone's just shit. And you're just dealing with like who's less terrible than others, and you end up with uninspired gameplay that's kind of dull, and like you don't get rewarded for your openings. Or, you know, on the other end, like Marvel, where like you're a little almost too rewarded for your openings. I think the variance in stages and character versatility is pretty natural. I think it's, you know, playing Fox, I'm rewarded on every stage. Let's be honest. He's good, he's well-rounded, he's fucking broke. Whereas like a mid-tier might not be, but they still have their strengths and can compete on other stages. I'm not too savvy with Overwatch, so I don't know how the stage selection works, especially in a competitive setting. I don't know if there's... Ooh, all right, so that
completely random.
That I think I'll give you that. I think that is shit design. if I'm gonna be real with you, that kind of fucking sucks. At least in fighting, so that's not normal for
But the things like that's different when
for like
we're
Call
talking
of
about
Duty and like other
fighting
games.
Call of Duty you have voting, right? I guess.
Yeah, and then like in an actual tournament setting, you have counter picks. Like my team can totally you know, during the search and destroy round, we could you know, if my team's in an advantage state, we could pick, you know, specifically Express as our Black Ops 2 search and destroy map because of strengths and weaknesses. I think randomized stages that vary so much is bad design. I agree with you. I think that's silly. I don't like the random aspect. I think randomness has no place in a competitive setting whatsoever. I think it's a gimmick. And I think it's pretty shitty. Honestly.
I don't like randomness either.
Yeah, no, I
think
it's
that's stupid. Huh. The idea of making something competitive should be something that has a heavy reliance on skill rather than luck, unless you want to play like bingo or something like that.
Exactly. So like if someone counterpicks FD, you know, Final Destination, you know, I can make the strategical decision to switch my character because, you know, maybe I don't want to get chain grabbed starting at 7% and die off a single grab. You know, it's kind of frustrating. But if we were to randomize the stages, I think that basically guarantees we all play a cutthroat dry meta because you can't really afford to have your cool characters and your neat tricks. Like yeah, I think that just about sums it up. I think randomness is inherently a shitty mechanic.
Interesting. I wanna do something real quick before getting to Overner. I think you mentioned something that is very interesting. Is that the community makes the meta. Is the developers can only try to balance it if they want to, right? I think that's very interesting because, for example, in Warframe, like, you know, you have a grindy game, for example, the people are always gonna find the laziest, quickest, and more efficient way to do something, right? And I think part of that, you know, but the thing is, like, also, like, there's like so much insight and into communities, or like when you have a competitive game, like so much like user research and, you know, knowledge that goes into like balancing too, that it's not I don't think it falls only you know, for example, I guess in a fighting game, right, they know where they're making strong, and they sometimes do it to see what happens and to see if it's a hidden gem, or people discover it right away and it's like, okay, it's obviously broken, we want to tone it down, we wanted to see whatever, because that happens all the time. But I think that the community makes the meta thing is like, it relates a lot for me in Overwatch, because Overwatch meta has changed. Like every time a new, you know, character, you know, is released, or, you know, they balance stuff, things like that. You know, sometimes they stop being reliable certain maps too. But that RNG aspect, it just makes, you know, like, I think like there's a school of like, either you have RNG and make everyone change and, you know, and try new things and try different things because for the sake of, let's say, maybe fun, right? Even though you are introducing a competitive aspect, or you have always people that I will never play Ganondorf in Final Destination because I'm gonna get wrecked. You know what I mean? But the thing is, like, there's also then the formula of, obviously I need to play these characters, which is like a small limitation, a small amount of, you know, of like the things that I can pick from, because it's gonna be this map or this thing. You know what I mean? It's just like the different mechanics is not necessarily good or bad. It's just that because it's designed a certain way, it's just gonna pull and ask for certain things from the community or from the player base, and how people are gonna interact with the game in general, right? Overner, I want to give it to you. What do you think?
It's a lot of information. Okay, so
let's go with what Lee's statement.
Hold on. No. By all means, I'm not a competitive Overwatch player. In fact, I'll play Overwatch with some friends occasionally, but other than that, I wouldn't be caught dead playing Overwatch. I don't like the game. I think it's pretty boring. That being said, I think that some examples, Call of Duty, Siege, you play the map. Siege, you more so than Call of Duty. You find Call of Duty because there's a lot of like obviously a lot of gun skill involved, right? But Siege, you play the map. Yes, your operators have abilities. Yes, like you have to be good at shooting, but you play the map. You play the angles. You play the stage. Call of Duty arguably is the same thing. You have to be good at shooting out of that, but you have to know the map.
Yep.
Overwatch, you don't. The map is a pretty setting. You play, and yes, there are definitely problems. Hanamura's choke point, I think, is actually terrible. I agree with you, but I say terrible from the point of view of the attackers. The defenders,
yes,
I think
for the attackers, it's
I was gonna say the
defender
defenders have it easy. I mean, you can shut that shit down real fast.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you on that. Again, I am not a competitive Overwatch player. Overwatch, you do not play the maps. You play the heroes. You play the hero composition. Right. And I don't think it's fair to say that because it's not. I think it would be different to say if the map was determined after you chose the heroes. If everybody chose a team and then all of a sudden it was like, hey, by the way, you're playing on this map, then I'd say, wow, this game is so bullshit. But no, the map is determined before you pick your heroes, and in fact, I think in competitive, can you switch heroes? I don't remember.
You can switch anytime.
So even then, you can still switch heroes anytime you spawn. So you can still adapt your composition. Again, the map does have an effect, right? There are badly designed maps in Overwatch, but you're not playing the map. You're playing the hero comp, and that I think it's unfair to say that the entirety of Overwatch is badly designed, because it's not the same decision making as it would be in something like Siege. Again, I also
think a 1v1
think
game, right?
Or a 1v1 game. Again, also I understand the difficulty of balancing a game for the top tier competitive players versus designing a game, like period. You know, you're designing a game for a mass market, and to balance. And I think that it's a very hairline balance between saying between balancing a game for a casual audience versus your competitive. It is phenomenally difficult to get that right. Nobody has ever done it right. Nobody has ever gotten that properly. And why have they never gotten it right? Because it's it's asking so much. Like, we're only humans. These developers are only human. There are games that do it better than others, and I'm not going to say that Overwatch is a perfectly designed game, because if it was, I might play it. But I think that to say that Overwatch is a poorly designed game because not every hero can do well on every map or whatever.
Or you just want to use your favorite hero over time, right?
Yeah, that's one thing. I don't think that Overwatch was ever designed to be a game where people pick their favorite hero and stuck to that. It has always been marketed and displayed as a game. That's why the heroes are free. That's why they're free. It's the only reason they're free. Because they could never push. They would never have gotten away in this industry pushing for paid heroes in a game that was so heavily dependent on team comp. Because if it was they would have to do the League of Legends thing, where they would make a viable team comp free every week, so that at least they could say, hey, you might not have everybody, but you have a viable pick, so don't complain, you know. And I think that to say that Overwatch is poorly designed because every hero doesn't work on every map is just it's just, this is not what Overwatch is. It's just not how it was designed. And I think that it's a different game than a lot of other shooters out there. Than a lot of other just multiplayer, because I think that Overwatch has a lot in common with a lot of different genres other than just shooters. Has a lot in common with MOBAs as well. But I just think it's just a different game. It's not meant to be played. You're not long story short, you're not playing the map, you're playing the heroes and the team comp. That's different than a lot of other, because Siege, you do have to, obviously there's a smart team comp, and then there's picking random ops that don't synergize whatsoever. If you pick a Thermite and you don't pick a Thatcher, then what'd you say?
I think everyone in Siege is viable though by comparison, because of how the universal mechanics work in the game, with how headshots with every single gun can kill any operator. I think that alone, the idea of having universal mechanics is the way of balancing a game properly.
I agree, but the thing is that because of the fact that in Siege you have hard counters, you have hard counters. A mute puts down a jammer, and 2 walls cannot be breached by Thermite, by Hibana, by you cannot touch that wall. Or a bandit does the same thing, and if you can't get through that wall, there's 2 ops that have completely useless abilities. They are literally a walking gun, and they have nothing else. And I think that because of that, you can still say that team comp is very important in Siege. There's a lot to be planned out, and a lot to be strategized, and a lot to be countered.
But see, in that example, it doesn't render the operator completely effective. It might render their gadget ineffective, but mechanically their gun still works. It's not
mechanically their gun still works. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off like that. But mechanically their gun still works. But you have to keep in mind that at this point, let's say the defenders versus the attackers. A bandit puts down 2 of his bandit traps on a wall that is the main entry point, the main breaching point for this map, for this objective. And the enemy team brings a Hibana and a Thermite, 2 Maus, since you don't play Siege. These are 2 people who can break through reinforced walls.
They're the hard breachers.
The defenders can put up metal walls. that cannot be broken by conventional means. You can't punch through it. You can't like throw a grenade at it. You can't like sledge it down with a hammer. They put up metal walls. There are two operators who have gadgets that will put holes in those metal walls. But if Bandit, who has batteries like car batteries that he attaches to the wall, make the wall electrocuted, the moment that operator tries to put their gadget on the wall, it's going to be destroyed and they can't get through the wall. Now, yes, you can say they still have their guns, but there's the inherent imbalance in Siege's team design anyways. Defenders have all the cams. Defenders have the information. Attackers also have drones, which are, it's a way of scouting out and it's loud, but as a defender, you have all this information available to you, and you have all these places where you can really hide. As a defender, you don't have to roam. You can sit in one spot and wait for everyone to come to you, because the only way for them to win is for them to come to you. So I feel like there's already this inherent imbalance, which makes the attacker. I mean, you could also say the attackers have better guns, because they do. The attackers do have better.
Yeah, but almost all of them have ACOGs. And there's 3 or 4 defenders that have an ACOG by comparison, and even then their guns have less punch by comparison too.
It's true. There's just a lot to be said. The hard counters in Overwatch by comparison to Siege, I feel are much worse, in the regard that what in the flying heck can a Reaper do against a Pharah or a Pharmacy? What can that guy do? Literally nothing.
Yeah, that's why you change characters.
That's why, but that goes to that's why it's a team comp game. That's why you can switch in between rounds. That's why you have to learn more than one, because if you only know how to play Reaper and you come against a Pharah, I am not gonna listen to anyone saying God, this game is fucking broken. I can't play my only champ versus dude, then pick up another champ.
Wait, Lee, do you
because
like Reaper?
That's how. Me?
I like a lot of heroes.
I like Reaper.
I've mained Roadhog. I've mained Lucio. I've mained. Soldier,
this is gonna be great.
Reaper, Doomfist.
Die.
Played a lot of Reinhardt. I played so many heroes, and it's just it's so infuriating to have to think about so many of these things when I'm thinking about enemy team composition, and it's just in Siege, it's just I can play literally any op, and I could completely kill anyone on their team with no inhibition, right? Maybe it's gonna be harder to get on the site, but in Overwatch, if I'm playing Reaper against Pharah, that's impossible. If I'm playing
Tracer versus attack,
Tracer versus
Brigitte, right?
that's impossible, man. It's actually impossible.
Let me ask you something, actually, to all of you. When you, for example, see a game, CS:GO or something like that, right? That ultimately, I would say maybe it's wrong, right? It comes down to map, right? The positioning too, and the kind of weapons you also buy between rounds. Right, the money that you invest, and who has which weapons and things like that, and then position yourself in the match that you're playing. Do you think, Lee, or all of you, that is that again, that is inherently good or bad? Compared to, for example, Overwatch, which is map and champion, or for example Siege, which is operator and skill. Right, the thing is also there's an RNG factor too in CS:GO, which is a bullet will never land in the same place, because it's also based on the reticule or whatever, right? It's gonna land. There's an RNG factor of that too. Yeah. Do you think that's more balanced than or less balanced than Overwatch, or what is?
I think Siege has a much better idea of balance by comparison.
Because you think that Siege just offers you pick an operator and maybe you can counter one person or two, but then it's just skill.
I think because the abundance of operators are so similar mechanically with how their guns function. The biggest differences between them are the gadget and I guess the recoil, right? That's really the biggest difference, and maybe the armor speeds and all that. But I think because so many of them are so fundamentally similar in terms of their skeleton, I think the game is inherently more balanced. Now,
I think Siege is the better designed game. If we're talking about competitive only, I think Siege is the better designed game than Overwatch. I will definitely.
I agree. I think Overwatch is a casual game trying to be competitive in every sense of the word because of how much Blizzard was pushing Pro League. That kind of thing has to develop naturally rather than it just being a complete business, kind of like a purely commerce thing.
I'll agree to that, and I'll add on that it is only popular given that it's in this niche subgenre that has zero competition. If there were other games like it, no one would give a fuck about Overwatch.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And there's one more thing I wanted to say. I don't want like this whole thing to make it seem like I care about balance.
Oh, you don't?
I want to make this clear.
Yeah.
I ultimately want a fun game.
Right.
Because we've seen extremes of how balanced and unbalanced can be fun. I think it was like Karate on the NES that was like a good example of the game being like perfectly balanced, or even like Street Fighter 1 or something like that. And they're perfectly balanced because like both of the characters do the same thing, right? There's no frills, no thrills, nothing like that. They're on completely even playing field. But you know what? Those games are boring because like there's no sense of like dynamicism.
Wait.
And
no, go ahead. I was gonna stop you right there, but go ahead.
All right, and I think they're boring because they don't have like they're balanced to the point where it's like boring, and I think other examples like unbalanced games can be super fun, right? Like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Yeah, granted it's like Storm, Sentinel, Magneto, or Cyclops or whatever. Like yeah, it's crazy unbalanced, but it's fun, right? Melee has like what 5 or 6 competitive characters like Falco.
I'd probably say 6. Yeah, 6 reasonably viable characters.
Sheik, Marth. I guess Ices. Falcon, yeah. But it's still fun. It's like one of the most universally like loved amongst the Smash Bros series, right? People want a fun game. Like balance is like it can work and it can't work, right? Like I love Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 because like I love doing cool stuff as Zero and Virgil, and just being like a scumbag doing that. Like in that game I'm a tier 4 just because I like the characters alone, right?
I want to say
I don't think balance necessarily means fun. I don't think unbalanced means necessarily good game design, because I still have issues with like unbalanced games.
I will say though then that because you think it's balanced or not, or if it's good game, the thing is like the reasons that you are describing that you dislike because it's not fun, it's not bad game design. You just dislike the game. You
For
know,
Overwatch,
right? Like you just
I still
dislike.
think it's badly designed.
The thing is like I think you're being biased. The thing is like I'm gonna put like I don't play Overwatch. I don't
playing a game for 1,000
I don't play
hours.
Overwatch anymore, right? But the thing is like, why did you put so many hours if you think it's bad game design? It's not fun.
You my honest answer?
Yeah. Sure.
I would have never bought Overwatch had it not been for my friends telling me to try the game, and the biggest reason of me playing it was just like because I wanted to like have something to play with my friends, and that is the biggest reason why I put so many hours into that. I never was into competitive team games, and the irony that I've spent over like, oh my god, or like 2,000 plus hours playing them, I would have never done it on my own volition. I think Overwatch is poorly designed. I don't like the game, and I regret a lot of my time with it.
Okay, fair enough.
I think it's poorly designed as a competitive game for sure. I think as a casual game it's fine because none of these factors are really spotlighted as a casual player.
Yeah.
Because you're not playing at that level. I think as a competitive game I will 100% agree Overwatch is shit design. You know, but as a casual game it works fine as what it was intended, I believe, because I don't think that they really like designed it as a big esport.
Yeah, because competitive mode wasn't even added until like people kept saying we want this, and it's
actually,
like
maybe I can see what you mean, right? Because I'm not an Overwatch player. I'm not a competitive Overwatch player. When I used to play Overwatch, I never played competitive, right? And that's actually my point of view too, and why
that's like the only mode I play in it,
right? And that's why I guess my takes are like that. You know what I mean? That
I mean, I think all of you guys have brought up really good points, and
right?
Like,
But
I acknowledge that.
I guess also the points that you bring is like in competitive side that also I guess I ignore or I don't understand to the level that you have because you have actually put hours into competitive, or you know, or any of you, any or games and things like that. But I think again, since my stance in the beginning was also I do hate competitive, like I actually avoid it, and every time someone asks me, "Hey, do you play Overwatch? You wanna play?" and say, "I do play. I don't play competitive, but we can play," you know, or the, you know, other games like that, like in general, like that are like. You know, I guess like I'm not super competitive either, you know, but again, yeah. In the spirit of good conversation, I think it was a great conversation, right?
I think it was a great conversation.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think it was also a great podcast, and I think it's good to leave it here, unless you know you have some finishing thoughts that you guys want to bring right now, or
I'm actually pretty happy that we got to talk about the toxicity topic, just because like you know, I'm actually happy that I got to hear like all of your thoughts for that, because like you know, it's different, because like I'm getting like another perspective in that regard, because like I've devoted like a ton of time to that. It's also to kind of see like people who like are able to bring like a different stance to that, right? So maybe I am being biased at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can talk further to another in my stream or yours or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, guys, thanks a lot for your time. This is what I wanna do for the outro. Actually, I wanna go through. I wanna thank everyone real quick. You know, who commented today. You know, Fleming Bull, Peak Angel. I wanna thank Sosa for the raid. 8 people. Welcome everyone, and thank you. Thanks a lot, Sosa. Thanks a lot. Always appreciate it. All the hosts that we got, hopelessly retro, that he actually or she has a question that we're gonna go over real quick.
Oh yeah, ask us questions, guys. This is the time.
Yeah, Adrian, thank you, thanks a lot, thanks for the lurk, and thanks for the you know host. Slumlord, thanks a lot for the raid, appreciate it, my dude. Like Slumlord also is he was on a previous episode, so give Slumlord a follow if you can. Ronan K99, thanks a lot. And Juke, also thanks a lot for the raid for the host. Sendrun, thanks a lot for showing up. And yeah, thanks everyone in the Jalapeno Pepper too. I want to say yeah, thanks a lot you guys also for your time. And I want to go actually, if the viewers have questions, we can do it now. But question real quick: do you guys think that professional gamers should be considered athletes?
No.
Over
Athletes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, man, it's so hard to be like good at games like to that level. Like, why not?
And not everyone can. Like, there's the inherent indifferences in people, sort of like, you know, being 5'4", you know, my chances at being pro in basketball are extremely stunted and limited. Whereas, you know, my reaction time is something I can only improve on so much. You know, you can't really push that. Where that's extremely huge in an esports, especially in fighting games. It takes the same amount of time, hours, dedication, training, studying. You know, it'd be weird to say that like these traditional sports have a meta game, but they do in of which their own ways.
Yeah.
I think it is absolutely fair to call the team sports, like, you know, the MOBAs, your League of Legends, all that cool shit, or fighters. I think it's absolutely fair to call those a legitimate sport, given the it takes the same amount of dedication and the same amount of luck as far as being noticed and picked up by a team, and the inherent differences that each of us as humans have. I think it's fair to call it a sport. Yeah.
I think it's 100% fair to call it a sport. I don't know about the word athlete. It's not, you know, I don't know I'm going to look up the definition of the word athlete, because in my head, an athlete, all right, a person who's proficient in sports and other forms of physical exercise. See, it's the physical exercise part that I am, because it's not like, yes, of course. I mean, I think that a competitive gamer, because I am all for the idea of a professional gamer. I've been working in esports for years. I am 1000% for esports. I want it to become a global phenomenon. But like, it's these people are. I mean, let me stop there and ask one question, because I don't actually know. Maybe one of you does know. Are professional chess players referred to as athletes? Does anybody know?
I don't know. I assume like
I don't know actually.
I think like the phrase or the term might be the problem, because of like implying physical.
Yeah, the physicality of chess.
Yeah.
If a chess player is referred to as an athlete, I will accept a professional video gamer to be referred to as an athlete, because professional chess has existed for a long time. I don't think that the word athlete is the word. You can be a professional video gamer. You can be like, you can exercise your mind and your reflexes and all this stuff to peak performance, but I feel like the word athlete, lumping it in together along with football and baseball and basketball and this and whatever, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, I don't consider myself like an old-fashioned person, but for me, like the definition of an athletic person, it just doesn't make a lot of sense for me. I feel like there needs to either be a new word or a different word to refer to even if it's like coined as an e-athlete, I can understand that, right? Like as an e-sport, an e-athlete, I can get behind that 100%. But saying that, you know, a professional basketball player, a professional soccer player, and a professional Overwatch player are all athletes, to me doesn't make a lot of sense. It's just the word. It's only the word, because I do believe that to be like a peak performing competitive video game player, you know, for a game that is something that like requires extreme reflexes and extremely quick decision making and critical thinking, I think I'm not going to take away from that. I'm not going to pretend that that's not an extraordinary feat. I just think it's the word athlete that is strange about it.
Fair enough. Lee, what do you think? You agree?
Yeah, I agree with what Overnerd said. I think, you know, the word itself is like kind of the issue in that kind of argument. I think we should like absolutely recognize like, you know, like professional gamers as like, it you know, we should recognize it as a sport, right? But I guess for like the term, it should be different ideally, because like, my God, there's like so much work that goes into being like a pro gamer, right? Like even I think like pro League of Legends players even have like their own like workout regimen too, like before each game, because like you know, it's like a mind body like kind of thing at the end of the day, right? So
and they all have like their meal plans and stuff, and like the team houses.
Yeah, so we should recognize that as
Peak Angel, now it's time to clarify the questions because I don't get it right now. Like story theories, anything about how the story influence and inspire what they love, the twist. Oh, so what do you love about lore-wise Castlevania, Just Lee, and what do you like lore-wise or story-wise Slifer about Pokemon? Slifer, you can go first if you have an answer.
I kind of have a shitty answer because I'm gonna be real with you. It's been a hot minute since I've played a cartridge game. Since I've actually played Pokemon. As far as lore and stuff goes.
Can you clarify why? Because you play online, right?
Yeah, I mainly play online just so I don't have to breed and train. It takes a lot of time to get like the right nature with the right moveset, get it to level 100 and this and that. And whereas if I'm playing online and I find that, you know, maybe I want, you know, this attack over this attack, you know, I go to my team builder, I type in a different word and it's there. Whereas in Pokemon, I gotta throw the whole thing out and I gotta start over. And that shit takes forever. I've done it. When I first started playing competitively, it was before we had the luxury of playing online. I spent the hundreds of hours breeding and finding items and tutoring, and especially the fine grind details that is how to train specific stats in Pokemon. It takes forever, and killing thousands of like a specific like I shouldn't have to sit there and kill 3,000 Geodudes just to get 252 HP. It takes a very long time, and just for, you know, the metagame to be like, oh, this is no longer good, or this is now banned, you know, it's frustrating. I think the lore is really cool, considering that most of, as far as Pokemon go, are based off of real life things to a certain extent, some more obvious than others. Like, you know, obviously Nose passes the Nose Pokemon, or Vanillix is, you know, an ice cream cone. But I think a lot of the mythical Pokemon, especially the legendaries and stuff, are much more lore oriented and come with their own lores, as well as off of like Chinese mythology or Japanese mythology or something of that kind of is really cool in the way they interact and exist in their own universe and control their own universe functions. I think that's really sick. And I definitely asked me this 6 years ago, I probably could have answered this a lot cooler and gone into the fine inner working details of like, well, technically the answer of first Pokemon is between, Arceus, Mew, Bulbasaur, and Rhydon, depending on what you want to answer as first.
I love that.
Yeah, because Rhydon was the first concept Pokemon. Bulbasaur is the first in every Pokedex. Mew is the first Pokemon, but Arceus was essentially the Pokemon universe's idea of a Big Bang. Yeah. Omnipresent Arceus created Mew, which created Pokemon. So it's kind of cool to think about that and go into it. A lot of it's really vague, so it leaves a lot of cool stuff to interpret, which I think is one of the coolest things you can do with lore, rather than spoon-feeding facts, leaving it a lot up to interpretation. Yeah, I think that sums up my answer.
Awesome.
Not as cool as it could have been, but
no, that's amazing. That's good. Lee, anything lore-wise about Castlevania that?
I guess I'll keep it brief just because we're at the end of this. Yeah. I guess lore-wise, I think I just like that it's like a saga, and everything just kind of like builds upon itself, right? Because like, each of the Belmonts like have their own strengths. You have like, Simon and Trevor, who are like basic boys. You got Richter, who learns like item crashes. He gets like super cool magic. Leon Belmont started like everything by creating the vampire killer.
Dope.
And it's cool. Like I like seeing a lot of these reoccurring like themes just kind of like being addressed, and like even down like to the gameplay mechanics too, just being evolved. So
I absolutely agree. I love Castlevania too. I guess we can expand. Let's do one topic like that one time. Let's do a Castlevania.
We should get some speedrunners for CV.
Yeah.
I have a few.
We should do one for Castlevania.
That's actually what I understood. I thought that Pick Angel was actually asking if you would consider doing lore episodes. That's what I understood. That's what I understood by the question, other than saying like immediately, what is your favorite thing about it?
I think that's super viable. I think it's realistic, right? That we can do something like more like a learning thing and talk about all the lore and high-ends and characters and things like that. Maybe a special episode like we did like Unplugged, like just talking in general.
That'd be a cool one.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. Thanks a lot for clarifying that. Yeah, I think it's open. Like we're open to everything. I want to do something for. No, because Pick Angel says ding ding ding. Like he didn't specify more, or maybe I didn't.
Frozen.
I didn't maybe understood the question fully because of all the things I need to look at and take care of. Yeah. I think I want to do something for Wireframe too. Invite some people for Wireframe. Castlevania definitely something that I stream and I'm interested in. Cool. Guys, I want to give you a little window, or any window of any size, that for you guys to promote and talk about your stream or what you do, and say just self-plug yourself however you want. And I want to start with Overn.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like I kind of mentioned all the intro. My name's Overnerd. I have been streaming for about 2 years. I'm honestly very much a variety streamer, simply because it's the only way I can do things. It's very hard for me to commit to a single thing for way too long. And I am trying to do that with like Siege and stuff like that. But if you ever just want to talk shit and hang out with some cool people, honestly, that's really the best I can offer you on my stream. We have a pretty nice community. We're always playing together. Honestly, we're like in Discord 24/7 pretty much. So you're always welcome if you want to stop by. But that's
dude.
Yeah.
I have known Overnerd for more than 12 years or 11 years now, and I mean, I have seen his career on Twitch grow, and he's a big inspiration for me. So please give him a follow if you can.
Thank you.
Slifer, go ahead. You have the floor, dude.
All right. So this is pretty dope that I have this opportunity, because in hindsight, I did a pretty poor job in the introduction. So I'm a Twitch streamer, YouTuber. I started Twitch back in August, and YouTube about a week before, because I wanted to like learn the inner workings of Streamlabs and like how to actually go live and all that. Watch my tutorials on how to literally do it, because I didn't know. The YouTube is strictly as of right now, strictly Pokemon. I know my 12-year-olds want to see some Smash content. I recently got a new computer, so I'm able to do more than just the very limited, browser-based Pokemon, because now I have a computer that can really handle streaming and is more for that. So I plan on, playing some more fighting games because I'm also very passionate about those. I'm hosting a Pokemon Draft League tournament online. The signups are full. They went up really quickly, but I'm excited for that and content for that. Yeah, if you ever just want to, shoot the piss, just big chill, some stream requests, some memes, our community is great for it. All sorts of humor is welcome because as I previously
giveaways
mentioned,
also left and right.
Yeah.
Oh baby.
Yeah.
Fucking my community is primarily 12-year-old boys, so there's really I point them in the right direction, but any and all humor can be found. We're very active on Discord. There is a community Discord where we're always working on collaborations with one another and teams and strategies. Just our general life. We've started to get pretty close and become friends. As much friends as I, an adult male, can be with a 12-year-old boy. Before things get
so limitations of it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, phrasing's pretty important. I'm probably on a watch list after that one, but I think you understand what I mean.
Awesome. There's like a red light going off over here somewhere.
Yeah. FBI. I'll have to lay low after that one.
I met Slifer. I found his stream when I was actually looking for a stream for Pokemon. When Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu came out.
Yeah,
I actually
really
ended up actually buying the game because of his stream. I actually had a good time, and I was enjoying myself a lot. I remember you saying I know you work a lot and you don't have super consistent, but every time I see it, I'm excited to watch it. So please give your boy Slifer a follow, please.
Yo,
already did.
Lee.
So I got tons of followers. That's what's up. Thanks, guys.
That's what's up, son.
I forgot to follow you until just now, Slifer.
I do like.
One
day I have one giveaway, which is a sub, which is pretty proud of. I do like when you say something says something. I don't talk like that, so that's why I haven't implemented my stream. That when somebody says something that is dope, it's just like you say that's what's up. I'm just like, oh yeah, that's what's up.
That's what's up. Yeah.
Lee, you have the floor, my dude.
Okay, so hey guys, I'm JustLeeBelmont, your noble vampire hunter. I do quite a few things on the stream. It's weird because my stream's kind of chill, yet it's also fairly charismatic. So if you're into having a good time while also being relaxed with a soothing ASMR voice, you can check it out there. The big thing I do on the channel, I do speedruns, I do casual playthroughs, and I even do the occasional writing stream. So we got hardcore, casual, and creative. Mondays, I do this thing called Dash Cancel, where I pretty much try to learn a new game to speedrun every Monday. It's really hard, and because of that, the game I played today, I developed an irrational fear of elevators. So if you're into that, check that out. And the casual playthroughs are cool. I have a lot of silly commentary about me hating some things on games and even loving some things about games. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I met Lee also back in November. There was a lot of people I met in November, by the way. I was actively, looking for new people, and Lee stream is super chill. I mod for him, he mods for me. We do this together. Again, I think if you want to have a good time, I think the cool thing is that I can catch it because I'm at work. He doesn't clash with my, schedule too. So I think that's pretty dope. And it's pretty laid back. And usually there's talk about life and about, friends or ethical things and things like that, which is not only about speedrunning and stuff. Also, hilarious that Lee has a lot of trouble speedrunning Super Mario Bros. 1.
Oh my god, Super Mario Bros. 1
and Super Mario Bros. 3.
I'm so bad at those.
He's pretty fucking bad, okay?
So 3 hours for a 10-minute
run.
You
see Lee flashing through all other games and super hard and he's having a good time Echo the Dolphin, but he's having a hard time trying to get under 10 minutes on Super Mario Bros. 1. I'm I don't know. You do that, I don't know what you're doing.
Best meme of the channel, unquestionably.
Lee, thanks a lot. I love you, dude. Thanks a lot for your time too. Guys, thanks a lot for your time. Okay, a couple of things real quick. This is a podcast or a talk show, for the community by the community. If you are interested in participating on the podcast, join the Discord, which I'm gonna put the Discord here. Join the Discord and we can talk. There's a collab channel that we can talk. Listen, like we have had people. This for episode like basically the 5th because we had the unplugged. We're gonna keep doing this every 2 weeks, Monday nights EST at 9 p.m. And since it's also a thing that we do for the community, the music that we also have is from the community. I have a viewer called Vince Nitro, and he actually produced a lot of the music that I played tonight. And if you like his music, you can check out his work. He has a podcast called a true crime podcast called The Trail When Called, which actually has won an award, by the way. Available on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. And his SoundCloud, I'm gonna put the SoundCloud right here. His music is pretty dope. He has a lot of variety. Yeah, go follow Vince Nitro. Also, I want to thank DJ Codman. Part of the other music that I have is from him. And I like to, even though he doesn't know we use his music, I like to credit him for that.
Hey,
next
maybe one day we'll have him on the show.
Oh my god,
That'd be cool, right?
I think he
I can't
streams.
handle that. Yeah,
He
he does.
streams.
He does.
Ooh.
Yeah. Next podcast
Or
is
used
Monday, April 8th at 9 p.m. It's gonna be in 2 weeks. I think it's gonna happen that day. I need to check my calendar, but yeah. Guys, thanks a lot for your time. Yeah, I mean, have a great night and thanks a lot. Take care.
Thank you.
See you guys.
See ya.